Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Ray Bradbury's tale, The Veldt.
This is the office of Dr. David McLean, resident psychiatrist of the new Chicago Institute of Human Engineering.
All right, Miss Carver, will you take this, please? To Charles S. Haworth, senior psychiatrist, New Chicago Institute of Human Engineering. The following constitutes my report on the case of George and Lydia Abbott, which we discussed by telephone. Subject George relates onset of symptoms to the purchase of a $60,000 soundproofed Happy Life home. Under narcosynthesis during initial interviews, subject described the experience in the following manner. Miss Carver, would you play back the sonic record of the initial interview?
We'd always wanted one, and then we could afford it, so...
Go on, Mr. Abbott. Tell me about the home.
The home. Well, it was supposed to do everything, the agent told us. And it did, I guess. It clothed us, fed us, and rocked us to sleep, played and sang, and it was good to us. Very good, sure.
Tell me about the nursery.
The nursery. The nursery, ah.
It was completely automatic?
Completely automatic. There were crystalline walls that wavered from 2 to 3 dimensions. There were pseudo-textured floors that shifted from brick to dirt to waving grass. The nursery was the best, but then we wanted the best for the children. Doctor, I must be crazy. We have no children.
What about Peter and Wendy? They're your children.
Oh, no. We have no children, Doctor. We have no children.
All right, Miss Carver. To continue. After 3 sessions, the subject was able to recall and accept the idea that he had 2 children. He described the first day.
All right, Peter and Wendy. This is your nursery.
What's so special about a nursery, Dad?
Plenty. Just go in and see.
Do we have to?
You'll be surprised.
Gee.
Go ahead.
I'm scared. I'm not. Hey, it's nice in here. It is? Come on in, Wendy. Boy, look at the pictures on the walls. They're real.
They're almost real. You can change them any way you like, just by thinking about it.
Go on in, dear.
Well, all right, Mommy. Hey, Wendy, look what I can do with the pictures. That's the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Sure. I just thought about it, and there it was. Let me try. Peter, let me try. Well, go ahead. Just think. How about Wizard in Oz? I want to see Wizard in Oz.
Well, dear, there we are.
Oh, they like it, don't they?
Why shouldn't they? All I have to do is think, and they've got whatever they want in 3 dimensions. Color, sound, and smell.
Oh, it's nice that we can give them all the advantages.
Sure. What else are we working for, huh?
Well, what do you want to do this evening?
Well, the Petersons asked us over for bridge, but if you...
We don't have to worry about the kids. They'll be all right in the nursery. Come on, Lydia. We deserve a night out.
And in the nursery, the walls were a kaleidoscope of time and space and imagination. The green forest of Sherwood and the quiet forms of Robin and his merry men gave way to the roll of the high seas and the smell of salt in the air as Sir Henry Morgan sailed into the harbor at Jamaica. And behind the crystalline quartz walls, the vacuum tubes and grids and banks of metal image tape spun quietly and efficiently, erasing the line between illusion and reality. Of course, the electric bill from Consolidated Utilities was tremendous, but it was worth it. The happy life home breathed contentedly as life proceeded with soft automaticity as guaranteed in the brochure and bill of sale.
George.
Hmm?
George, I wish you'd look at the nursery.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
I was in the nursery last week. It's perfectly all right.
It's different now.
What do you mean, different?
I want you to come and see.
Are the kids there?
No. Madge Allen took them to a show along with her kids. That's why I want you to look at it now, before they get back.
Oh, all right. But what you expect me to do, I don't know. I'm no mechanic.
This isn't a question of a leaky faucet, George.
All right, dear. I'm coming.
The nursery light flicked on as they came down the hall. The relays clicked and the tubes warmed and chemical odor banks and pipes bubbled into life as they paused before the closed door.
Go ahead, George. Open it.
On all sides, in 3 dimensions, stretched the hot, tired landscapes of an African veldt reproduced to the last stick and pebble and bit of straw. The ceiling above them became a sky with a hot yellow sun. A wind blew in from the baked veldtland. The hot straw smell of lion grass. The cool green smell of the hidden waterhole. The great rusty smell of animals. The howl of the jackal in the distance. And the papery rustling of the great vultures that wheeled and circled under the yellow burning sun.
Let's get out of this, son. It's a little too real.
Oh, George, you promised you'd look around.
Well, I don't see anything.
Wait a minute. There are the vultures.
Filthy creatures.
There. There are the lions. Far over that way.
Yes, I see them.
Well, they're on their way to the waterhole. They've just eaten.
It's some animal. A zebra or a baby giraffe, maybe.
Can you see it? Are you sure?
It's a little late to be sure. Nothing over there but clean bone and the vultures swooping down for what's left.
Did you hear that scream?
What scream?
About a moment ago.
Sorry, no.
Oh, here come the lions. George, they're frightening.
Take it easy, Lydia. They're just illusion.
The lions were 15 feet away. So real, so startlingly real, you could feel the prickling fur on your hand, and your mouth was stuffed with the dusty upholstery smell of their heated pelts. And the yellow of them was in your eyes like the yellow of an exquisite tapestry. The yellows of lions and summer grass, and the sound of the matted lion lungs exhaling on the silent noontide, and the smell of meat from the panting, dripping mouth.
George, I'm afraid they're so real.
They're only an illusion, Lydia, that's all.
Watch out! Ah!
Out, quick, outside!
They almost got us.
Now, take it easy, calm down.
I could feel their breath.
Get a hold of yourself, Lydia. They aren't real. Walls, that's all it is, crystalloid walls.
They look so real.
Of course they do. But it's all dimensional color reactionary process, a metal tape film behind glass screens. It's all odorophonics and sonics. Now, here, take my handkerchief.
I'm afraid. Did you see? Did you feel it? It's too real.
Now, Lydia.
And we've got to tell Wendy and Peter not to read any more on Africa.
Of course, dear.
I want you to lock that place up.
But you know how difficult Peter is about that. I punished him last week by locking the nursery for an afternoon, and he threw a tantrum. And Wendy, too. Well, they live for the nursery.
It's got to be locked. That's all there is to it.
You've been working too hard, Lydia. You need a rest.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to do. I have too much time to think. All I do is set the menu selector dials at the beginning of the week.
But that's the whole idea. The house is automatic.
I know, but couldn't we turn it off for about a week and take a vacation?
You mean you want to fry eggs for me?
And darn socks. I feel like I don't belong here. The house is wife and mother and maid. How can I compete with the African velds? George, those lions can't get out of there, can they?
Of course not, dear. Now, don't think about it anymore.
They ate alone. He sat idly watching the dining room table produce warm dishes of food from its mechanical interior.
You forgot the ketchup. That's better.
It wouldn't hurt to lock the children out of the nursery for a while. It was clear that they had been spending too much time in Africa. That sun, he could feel it on his neck still, like a hot paw. And the lions, and the smell of blood. Remarkable how the nursery caught the telepathic emanations of the children's minds and created a life to fulfill their desires. The children thought zebras, and there were zebras. Sun, sun. Giraffes, giraffes. Death, and death. They were so young. But long before you knew what death was, you were wishing it on someone else. But this, the long, hot African veldt, the awful death in the jaws of a lion, and repeated again and again and again. The children came home dutifully at 8:30.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop.
Hello, darlings. Do you want something to eat, dear? We're just having dessert.
We're full of strawberry ice cream.
And hot dogs.
We'll just sit and watch.
Sure. Peter, tell us about the nursery.
The nursery?
All about Africa and everything.
I don't understand.
Well, your mother and I were just traveling through Africa with rod and reel.
There's no Africa in the nursery.
Oh, come now, Peter. We know better.
I don't remember any Africa. Do you, Win? Go run and see, huh?
Sure, I'll be right back.
Wendy, come back here. Wendy!
Oh, she'll be right back, Pop.
She doesn't have to. I've seen it. Come on.
Sure, Pop, but Wendy'll tell us.
Open the door.
See, Daddy? It's not Africa. It's Florida. Like in Bambi.
There go the deer. See? It isn't Africa.
I see it isn't. Go to bed.
But it isn't 9 o'clock.
You heard me. Go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Mom. Good night, Pop.
Good night.
Good night, dear. I'll be right in.
Wait a minute, Lydia. Look at this.
What is it?
This is the corner where the lions were, isn't it?
What is that you picked up?
An old wallet of mine. There's a smell of hot grass on it. The smell of a lion. It's wet with saliva. And it's been chewed.
George, those smears are blood.
Come on out. Now let's go to bed.
But in the middle of the night, he was still awake, and he knew his wife was awake.
George, how did your wallet get in the nursery?
I don't know. Wendy must have changed the walls from the African veldt. I'm going to keep it locked. Maybe it isn't good for the children. My father used to say children are like carpets. They should be stepped on occasionally. We've never lifted a hand. They're spoiled and we're spoiled. I think I'll have Dr. McLean come tomorrow morning and have a look at Africa.
But it isn't Africa now. It's Florida and Bambi.
I have a feeling it'll be Africa again before then.
Although their automatic somno beds tried very hard, the two adults could not be rocked to sleep for another hour. A smell of cats was in the night air. And in the morning, the stove cooked French toast, and the dining room table poured the syrup and melted butter.
Pop,
Yes?
you aren't going to lock up the nursery for good, are you?
That all depends.
On what?
On you and your sister.
We feel you should have some variety, dear.
I wouldn't want the nursery locked up ever.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're thinking of turning the whole house off for about a month. Sort of camping out.
Be fun for a change. Now, don't you think so, Wendy?
No, it'd be awful.
I don't want to do anything but look and listen and smell. What else is there to do?
Oh, all right, all right. Go play in Africa.
Are you going to shut off the house soon?
We're considering it.
I don't think you better consider it any more, Pop.
I won't have any threats from you, son.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Wendy. Let's get back.
After breakfast, Dr. David McLean arrived.
Oh, I saw the nursery last year, George. It looked all right to me.
You didn't notice anything unusual?
No, the pattern showed the usual violence, a tendency towards slight paranoia. All children feel persecuted by their parents. They're perfectly normal.
There it is.
Suppose we take a look at it now.
They entered without knocking and sent the children out. The screams had faded and the lions were feeding quietly under the trees.
I wish I could see what they're eating.
How long has this been going on?
A little over a month.
Certainly doesn't feel good.
I don't want feelings. I want facts.
George, a psychologist never saw a fact in his life. He knows about feelings. And this doesn't feel good. Now, my advice to you is to have the whole room torn down and your children brought to me every day for the next year for treatment.
Is it that bad?
I'm afraid so. You know, that's why the nursery was developed originally, to let us examine the patterns left on the wall by a child's mind.
But what is it? What's wrong with Peter and Wendy?
Well, it's hard to say.
I haven't punished them more than average. Oh, I took away a few gadgets. Last week, I locked the nursery to show I meant business.
You've let this room replace you and your wife in your children's affections. This room is their real father and mother, and now you come along and want to shut it. You can feel the hatred coming out of that sky. George, turn everything off. The nursery, the automatic kitchen, the whole automatic house. And start now.
But won't the shock be too much for the children?
I don't want them going any deeper. Let's get out of here. I never like these rooms. They get me nervous.
Those lions look real, don't they? I don't suppose there's any way...
What?
That they could become real.
Not that I know.
Some flaw in the machinery, tampering?
No.
I don't imagine the room will like being turned off.
Nothing ever likes to die, even a room.
I wonder if it hates me for turning it off.
Paranoia is thick today. Well, hello. Is this your scarf? It's stained. Brown. Blood.
That's Lydia's. Come on, the main fuse box is out here.
Right, go ahead. Pull the switch.
Yeah. It's off.
The two children were in hysterics. They screamed and kicked and threw things. They yelled and sobbed and swore and jumped on the furniture, weeping.
It's off and it stays off. The whole house dies as of now.
He marched around the house, cutting switches and pulling fuses.
Don't let them do it. Don't let Pop kill everything. I hate you. I hate you.
Insults won't get you anywhere.
I wish you were dead.
We were for a long while. Now we're going to start really living. Instead of being handled and massaged, we're going to live.
Once more, Daddy. Just once more.
One more minute of the nursery, that's all. Just one more minute.
Oh, George, it can't hurt, really.
Oh, all right, only shut up. 1 minute, and that's the end. Forever.
Gee, thanks, Pop. Thanks.
And then we're going on a vacation. Dr. McLean is coming in half an hour to help us out. Lydia, turn on the nursery for just a minute.
Oh, boy. Come on, Wendy. Come on.
Thanks, Daddy. Thanks a lot.
Just 1 minute, remember? Now, where'd I put those suitcases? Lydia!
Don't shout, George. I'm right here.
Did you leave them alone in the nursery?
Well, I've got to get ready, George.
Well, I guess we'd better get them out of there before they get involved with those beasts again.
Pop! Pop, come here!
Daddy! Mommy!
Come on, quick.
Wendy! Peter! What's the matter?
Hurry up. Open the nursery. Wendy! Peter!
They aren't anywhere. Wendy? Peter?
Peter! The door. Open the door. They've locked it from the outside. Peter!
Peter! Wendy! Peter! Open the door, dear!
Let us out, Peter! Open the door. It's time to go. Open the door!
George! The lions!
Peter, do you hear me? Open this door!
They're all around us, George!
Son! Son, do you hear me? Let us out! Son!
George! Look out! The lions! They're coming!
When Dr. David McLean came half hour later, he found the two children in the nursery sitting in the center of the open glade eating a picnic lunch. Beyond them was the waterhole and the yellow veldland. Above was the hot sun. At a distance, Dr. McLean saw the lions fighting and clawing and then settling down to feed in silence under the shady trees.
Hi, kids. Where are your mom and dad?
Oh, they'll be here directly.
Good, good. We've got to get along.
He squinted at the lions with his hands up to his eyes. Now they were done feeding, and they moved to the waterhole to drink. A shadow flickered as the vultures dropped down from the blazing sky to finish what the lions left.
Dr. McLean? Dr. McLean?
Huh? What?
Have a cup of tea?
Which concludes my report to date. There were no lions, of course. Not in a physical sense. Lydia and George were devoured, however, almost as surely as if there had been lions. Their personalities were devoured by the mechanistic marvels which had usurped their role as parents. All four members of the family are under intensive therapy now and are doing as well as can be expected. Send that by telerope, Miss Carver. Oh, and would you ask George Abbott to step inside? I'm ready for him now.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Veldt, written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Mary Patton, Bill Quinn, David Pfeffer, Beverly Lunsford, Charles Penman, and John Larkin. Your announcer, Fred Collin. X-1 was directed by Dan Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Check, check. Is this thing on? 1, 2, 1, 2, check, check. Hello, check.
morning once again, weirdos. It is me, crazy old weird bearded guy. I have come to you this morning, humbled by my daughter's success. She has graduated from college with no less than 3 degrees. 3, count of 1, 2, 3. She got the transfer, she got the general education, and she got a liberal arts. She is officially no longer a fighting cacti, although she is now officially alumni. And she is going to be, in the fall, a coyote. She's moving. She's moving and shaking, trucking, rocking and rolling. I am going to put on a little bit of music here to get us going, because I just feel like some music, you know. And let's see. How about this one? This one sounds nice. You've Got Me Picking Petals Off of Daisies from 1929. That was the High Hatters Society.
They were great, man. I remember seeing them down at the Forum, dude.
I've just been sitting here this morning admiring the beautiful flowers that the Czech family brought last night. I won't pick any petals off of these daisies. They're just too beautiful. They're just too beautiful, dude. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah, so here we are this morning. This is Friday, May 24th, 2024. As we've been discussing all week, my daughter is graduating college and has done so as of last night. She is an official alumni of Copper Mountain College. She is an official graduate. She graduated with no less than 3 degrees. I am so proud of her, and she has every right to be proud of herself. I'm going to pull that off there so I don't have to listen to myself any more than I need to. Yeah, oh, last night was so beautiful. The event just destroyed my back and my butt and my legs because of the seating, but it was beautiful. It was an awesome event. I didn't realize that there would be so many graduates from our small, tiny little campus out here. We had upwards of 90 to 100. I lost track of what my wife was counting. She was at like 89 or 90 or something when I spaced off into another world. But yeah, amazing. A lot of nurses. My goodness, this school puts out a lot of nurses. I was amazed. I was just blown away by how many nurses were graduating. And they were all so little. They were all these little tiny ladies wearing giant high heels. And I'm looking at them and going, my gosh, they're so small already. When they take those heels off, they're just going to be little tiny girls. Like my wife. Yeah. But I do have pictures. And I think today is probably going to be more about... It's going to be more about what's going on this week than what was going on 50 years ago. Now, 50 years ago this week, my father would have been in Pasadena, at the City College there in Pasadena, and he would have been arriving for a show, because he did a radio show, much like what I do here in the evenings. My father did every Friday night in Pasadena at 5 o'clock. So last night, I broadcast one of his shows prior to the recorded program that I put on before I went to the graduation. And that program only lasted about 3 hours before it stopped, and I imagine that it had maybe something to do with the sleep on my computer. Probably not, because I think I readjusted that, and if there's something going on, it doesn't shut off, right? So I don't think it was that. I think it might have been the internet access. Everything really slows down around here at around 7 or 8 o'clock, which is about the time when the internet, when YouTube stopped, when my live feed stopped. I got home and everything was still working, everything was still feeding, but YouTube was not accepting. So something happened there to cut the cord. Something cut the cord there. It was cut there. So I am going to be sitting here this morning, transferring a few photos from my phone over to my computer, which is pretty basic. All I have to do is load them into Messenger and message them to myself to Facebook here. Bada bing bang boom, and then there they are. There they are, dear George. Yeah. Let's see here. There. So I had my wife send me a few photos from last night. The graduation. Wow. I really had to fight back the emotion, right? I mean, I was surrounded by a million people there, and I was able to, fight it back by using humor, by using my humor. one of Natalie's best friends, my daughter Natalie, one of her best friends, Deja, from high school. She graduated college last night as well. Congratulations, Deja, and Mom and Dad, Grandma, everybody for making it possible for her to do that. So proud of you, Deja. I'm proud of all you kids for everything that you're, just staying out of trouble at this point, just being good people. I mean, that right there is enough to be proud of. Be proud of yourselves for being good people. And I'm just having a heavy deja vu right now. Oh, wow. I've been here before, and it was a long time ago that I saw this. Wow, that is fucking heavy. Okay, shake off the deja vu. And let's get into some, wrong mouse. Let's get into some pictures. Yeah. Wow. So what am I gonna do? Am I gonna download these? Yeah, I'll probably download them real quick here so that I can open them up. And then that's gonna make them easier to look at, right? And then I can zoom in and zoom out and that kind of stuff. So let's do that. I'm just gonna run through here. I'm on number 3. I've got 8 total, so it shouldn't take me too long to run through all of these. There's 4. Yeah, there's 5. That's just beautiful. Oh, that's a great one. I love that one. You're gonna love that one. That's, the in thing now is decorating your cap, right, for graduation. Decorating the top of your cap, and she did a remarkable job decorating her cap last year, and this year she went over the top. Get it, over the top cap. That's enough of that. Let me go ahead and grab the ones from David, and then at some point I will get on here. I'll get on here and I'm gonna woohoo! Oh yeah, that's right. There it is. So there's one. That's great. Oh, that's another good one there, George. Definitely there, George. All the kids in the front there. Yeah. Oh, excellent, David. David took a couple of pictures as well. That's awesome sauce. There I am, not paying attention because I'm not used to photos. There you go. And then I can open up that, and then I can go here, and then when I open it up here, it's awesome looking. Okay, and then I can get rid of all the extra crap on the screen and just have me and my baby. Me and my baby. And there's me and my baby. That is my daughter, Natalie. She is officially a graduate. It is awesome. She's the sweetest kid in the world. She is not gullible. She's so cool. She's so laid back and cool. She's got the coolest friends too. She totally has the coolest friends. She rocks. She totally rocked this college. She knocked it out. There's Mom. There's Mom. There's my girls. There's my girls. My proud mama. Mom, remember when she was just a little baby? Remember that? Huh? Remember? Little itty bitty baby? Pull my microphone in here a little closer. Get a little closer to you so I can say how you doing there. Yeah, she's just awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. There's us. There's a little family. There we are, me and all that Copper Mountain swag there. David's like, where'd you get all the cool Copper Mountain swag? And I'm like, from my awesome daughter. You know, she had these, they were giving her these gift cards for the bookstore, right? And, you know, it was like, I think the first semester she had a bunch of money left over, and I got like what did I get? I got a hat and a mug. And then we got to the end of her last semester, and she's like, I got all this money left at the bookstore. I said, well, buy stuff for the fall, right? She's going to go to university in the fall. I said, well, cool. Go there and buy a bunch of stuff for the fall, and then if you got anything left over, let me know. And she's like, okay, so like I got some left over. You want some shirts and stuff? So she took me down there. She bought me like $100 and something worth of swag, right? On this card, which was so awesome. So I got the cool shirt. I got the cool hat. I got another shirt and some stickers, and oh, she's so beautiful. And a keychain. I got a really cool keychain. But I love to show my support for her and her college, her university, whatever. So of course this morning I've got the coyote stuff going. Yeah, Sam Berdue, here she comes. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so here is the Czech family. Here's Kristen and Dave and those beautiful girls. And they're so, I love how they get along. These girls get along so well. And every time I see them, they're just laughing and giggling and hanging out and just being buds, you know. And that's so, that just says a lot about these two. These two are just the best people that I know, aside from my wife and daughter. Yeah, they are just the coolest people in the world, and we were so lucky enough to have them as friends all of this time, you know. And they went out to sushi with us last night. Check that out. This is the back of my daughter's cap. She held on till May, and she wanted so badly to use this, and I can't remember who this is. Is there someone there that recognizes this album cover? I don't know how they found me, or Pierce the Veil, or something like that. I know she's into these newer groups. But we went out. She found this photograph. She had a friend Photoshop the top of the thing there, and then she shaped this the way she wanted to, and angled it the way she wanted to, and had it printed out at Walgreens. And then we brought it home and cut the circle out of the center and glued it on with fabric glue, and then did the lace, and it just turned out really great. And she stuck she just stuck her letters on with tape, you know. And she's so fun and creative, you know. Everything she does, she's got to have her own twist on it, and it's really bitchin'. It's really totally bitchin', you know. And then here's Deja's cap with the flowers all over it. She's a flower. It's a couple of great kids, just a couple of great kids. Here's her in all her glory, and here's the I don't know, sash, is that what they call these, that Mom got her. She didn't want to wear too much because it was bulky. And then that cool dress that she got to wear under her gown and for after party and stuff. Pardon my coughing there. There is us. The waiter at Aki Sushi was kind enough to take this photograph of us after he delivered our food. Very, very cool people there. Monday I will be wearing my Aki Sushi shirt Monday morning in gratitude for their service and their kindness and their hospitality. They are really nice people. I called in before we got there and asked if they were going to have room. They were really, really polite. As soon as I got there, she put together this table for us, and it was just awesome. And there are my daughter's friends. There's Charlie on the front left, Audrey on the front right, and then Deja on the second right, and then my daughter on the second left, and then me, and then across from me is my wife, and then next to her is David, and then Kristen, and then the girls, and it was just such a fun night. I actually drank beer. I drink beer, eh? I had some beer, though, don't you know? Not much of a beer drinker, but I did have beer last night. I split a pitcher with David. Awesome, bro. Here's, from the other end, here's a shot that David sent his daughter. I mean, just fun. Sposa. Yeah. So I'm still kind of beaming from last night. It was really, really cool. We didn't get a chance to do this last graduation for my daughter's high school graduation. So this was really, really cool to be able to do this. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. I gotta go let some dogs out here, have this camera here. And that is the sound of Big Face Bessie coming out to drink some water. And gosh golly, oh gee whiz, can she drink water? She is one drinking dog. I'm gonna boogie back on over here to Facebook. And I'm gonna touch myself here on Messenger. Cause yeah, man. I mean, it was just so weird, you know. Bessie, come on over here and lay down. Come on up here, Bessie. Come on up here, Bessie. Come on. There you go, big girl. I mean, to have your only kid graduating from college at 19. She'll be starting university at 19. She won't be 20 until a month in. Wow, which means that she'll be graduating from university with at 21, right? Wow, that is pretty heavy. And I'm like, 4 more years. And she's like, I've only got 2 left. I've only got 2 at the university because I'm transferring. And I'm like, okay, 8 more years. I want her to stick with it. I really do. I mean, as long as she wants to, I want her to. If she gets done with this and she's like, you know what? I really like this campus. I think I want to go back for another couple of years. I'm like, I'll be like, yeah, let's go. You know, let's do it. Let's totally do it. You know. Why not? What is it going to hurt for her and possibly her significant other to live at home so that she can just continue her education? You know, why go to work and slave away and destroy your body for someone else when you can live light and just focus on you, right? And then have enough of you developed so that when you do decide to go out and take your place in the world, you could just grab it by them short hairs and rule, you know. Why go out into the workforce? Hear my dog chewing on herself. Psst. Hey, Bessie, you know my microphone loves to pick that stuff up. Oh, I'm sorry. There she goes walking by. Yeah. I mean, why go out into the workforce and start at the bottom? Because even if you're like, well, I'm attending university and I need to have a side job, you know, so I'm going to be working at McDonald's, right? I mean, how many times you see that where somebody is trying to make it by going to college or university, and yet they're working at a convenience store on the side, and then pretty soon they're doing more hours working than they are going to school. I can only attend half-time because my job and my bills, and it's like, no, I would rather her stay home, you know, and let us deal with that end of it, you know. If that is the case, then it's going to be easier for her financially, you know. She has financial woes because, you know, we live below the poverty line, right? So therefore she's able to take advantage of more programs, right, that assist her. So, you know, yeah, stay at home. Do that, you know, as long as you feel it's going to be a benefit to you, then, you know, I'm all for it. I really would prefer that she think about her future and use her present and her present circumstances to the best that she can, you know. And right now, being a solid A student, she can take advantage of so much grants and scholarships and free money, you know, and free schooling and free this and free that. Go for it, you know, go big. And I'm hoping that when she gets done with this 2 years, maybe she won't want to continue go from a bachelor's to a master's right away in psychology. Maybe she wants to fall back and maybe work on a liberal arts bachelor's, right? And focus in on something a little more, you know, creative, imaginative, which she's got that too. So, and then maybe use both bachelor's to create a master's that's going to allow her to pretty much write her own ticket, right? You know, I don't know how any of this academia stuff works. I just know that she's rocking it, and the more she's able to take advantage of all of these situations, the better off she's going to be. You know, and that's why I stayed away when it's, you know, I've got to talk to my counselor, and I've got to fill out papers, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I'm like, well, then you got to, because I can't do it for you. I can help you. I can, you know, kind of, you know, give you, you know, whatever little assistance I can, but I can't do it for you. You need to learn how to do this, so that by the time you get to university, use these 2 college years, so by the time you get to university, you're not even worried about it. You know, it's going to be a weird first couple of weeks because you're new, but everybody's going to be new, right? And after a couple of weeks, it's going to become your campus, just like it's going to become everybody else's campus. It's going to become your campus. It's going to be your home for a couple of years, and possibly longer. You know, again, I wish I had those opportunities when I was her age. You know, which is exactly why I make sure that she has them now. As poor as we are, as shitty as things are, she's still able to go off to university at 19 friggin' years old and not have to work 2 jobs to frickin' do it. You know. I need some coffee warmed up here. All right, lava lamp cam. The next sounds you hear will be me warming my coffee in the microwave. and I'm not a complete yutz, while I did not complete high school, within a couple of years, I did get my general education diploma because I was attending trade schools. And in 1992, I attended an automotive technical school. And I was there for about, pardon my adjustment here, I was there for about 6 or 7 months, and was doing really well, and I had just finished engine rebuilding, right? And it was fun. I was enjoying being able to go in and just open up a hood and just reach in and fucking figure shit out, and having driven shitty cars most of my life and having had to be, all covered in grease and working on cars a lot, this was really neat to be able to learn what it was that I had been doing all those years and learn it the right way, right? So I was attending this school about 6 or 7 months in. The government came in and closed the school down. One day we showed up on campus in Phoenix, Arizona, which is where we were living at the time, my girlfriend and I. And lo and behold, they said, hey, the president, the vice president, all the upper staff have been stealing money from you guys. They've been taking your tool money and tuition money and all this stuff and just pocketing it. And it's like, so that's why we don't have tools or textbooks and all this other shit that we've been going without for the longest time. And it was pretty screwed up. Another local school stepped up and said, look, we'll take all of your students as long as the financial aid thing works out on this end. We'll cover, and as long as they test up to our standards, and I tested, and it was I'm thinking, well, I just did 6 months over here, so I got 6 months into this school already. That's great. I tested, and they said, we'll give you 2 weeks. Right? And it's like, are you kidding me? After 6 months, all you're going to give me is 2 weeks worth of your school for that? And I'm going to have to repeat all of these other courses? No, I said, I can't do that. And I tried it, and I did it for 3 or 4 weeks. And I didn't want to keep doing the same friggin' thing over again. I just didn't. And then after having done it for 6 or 7 months, 8 months now, it hurt my back, it hurt my hands. I started to realize I had the early onset of arthritis, bloody knuckles, chipped up fingernails, greasy, gnarled up fingers. And I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the thing for me. How am I going to play guitar or, even, handle food? I mean, I was just disgusted with myself and the whole idea of being a mechanic for the rest of my life and being hunched over a car. The guys who can do that shit, more power to you, because I can't. I just as soon hire a mechanic these days. So I decided, after 2 automotive schools, I decided, forget it. I switched to a graphic design school and went there for 4 months. And then had a breakup with the girl I was with. And at the same time, I had this huge epiphany that I wanted to be an artist. But I didn't want to be a graphic design artist because that meant that, like the teacher said, I should be able to walk over and grab your work off the table, crumble it up into a ball and throw it away, and you should just put your head down and create a new piece and not think twice about it, right? And I'm like, dude, that's harsh. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to create little capitalist artists, right? And I didn't want that. I've never been one to be driven by the need for money. That's never been my drive. Self-fulfillment, right? Self-realization, inner workings. That's what I've been into my whole life. So, I decided right about the same time that I had the breakup with the girl that I can't do this anymore. And I took off, came back to California, and went up to Mammoth. But after that, in the early 2000s, before our daughter was born, I went back to college. I'd been married a few years, and I was kind of floundering. I was tired of just working the same old jobs, right? And we were living up in the mountains, and it was a close, not a bad drive down to San Jacinto campus from where we were living. So I enrolled and spent three or four semesters going to this campus, and I was in my 30s at this point. And just floundered. I mean, it was like the whole reason I was there was to get a degree and to get good grades and to excel, right? And I did everything but. I studied music and got an F. I studied art and got like B's. I studied, writing and got C's. And these were things that I'm good at, right? And I sucked. And the difficult classes, the math and the history and that kind of shit, was even worse, right? And I'm like, oh, this is high school all over again. This sucks. And so after a while, I just gave up, and I went back to work and started painting again, house painting. And didn't think much about school again until about 2 years after I got injured. I got injured in 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. I got injured, and my life was never the same. Constant pain, every second of every day, 24/7, 365, just constant pain all the time. So it took me a while to adjust to that. They had me on pain pills for a year and a half, and I just, I missed out on too much life, so I gave that up, and I switched to medical marijuana. And I had been smoking pot off and on most of my life. And I had been on and off, and then decided that, it was time to go back on. And then after a few years of dealing with this neck injury and not getting anywhere with the doctors, the insurance companies and everything, when they told me that I could have the surgery, but they weren't going to pay for any of the recovery, they weren't going to pay for this, they weren't going to pay for that, all the money was gone. It was like, you know what, how much money's left? Give me whatever's left and let me deal with it myself. If I'm going to be in the pain for the rest of my life and there's nothing you can do, well then why am I doing anything with you, right? Give me the damn money and I'll deal with it myself. So having full movement, it's easy to get around. The only issue is that I'm in constant pain. I got, full movement. It's like a bag of rocks between my neck and shoulders, but I can move. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to try to rehabilitate myself, and I enrolled in college out here. All right, and we were about a half an hour down the road from the college. So I took the little amount of money that they had given me and bought a little Geo Metro and a little book bag with wheels and some other little college stuff, and I set myself up in this little car as a college student, and I, 4 or 5 days a week, back and forth to the campus. I did an entire summer, 2 classes, all day, all night, and I was rocking and rolling because I was in it for me. I wasn't in it for the grades. I didn't care about the grades. I didn't care about academia. I didn't care about getting this class and that class and that class so I could create a degree. It was like, you know what? I'm going there for me. I've got X amount of units to use to rehabilitate however it works out. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go there and worry about me. And so I took art, drawing, painting, photography, death and dying, and that's gonna segue me into a fantastic story about death and dying. And I wish I could come up with a piece of an artifact. Let me see if I can. It might be back here on my bookshelf. But you're going to love this, right? I hope I can find it. There's no ways, no hows. Let me check back in my little collection here. I do not see it in my rack of crap there, and it is not down here. Well, I'll have to dig it up sometime, but it's this little death and dying book that I created for my death and dying class. So death and dying class is, it's kind of a philosophy class, and it's one of those required courses. You got to take this class, you got to take this kind of class, right? And this is one of those options that you get, right? And I took it because it sounded interesting, right? It sounded interesting to learn about the different aspects of death and dying, the different ways that different cultures look at death and dying, aging, elderly people, endings. I mean, it was really a heavy class. I didn't realize, pardonnez-moi, I didn't realize how much I was going to get out of that class, and I didn't realize how much that class was going to change me. And change me as being a father as well. That class, I think, helped me to become a better father, realizing my own mortality and realizing that I only had X amount of years to leave my daughter, right? I only had so much time to devote to passing on my own self so that she knows who I am, right? And ultimately it led to this here, doing this daily sharing here. In fact, we joked about it last night at the dinner table eating sushi, that, well, my daughter's got this degree so she can fix her father, you know. And I said, yeah, and I'm leaving her a lot of data on YouTube for her to compile her doctoral, you know, postdoctoral thesis, right? So it's like, and Natalie's, yep, that's right. I'm gonna do that. And, you know, it was all kind of in jest, but not, because this is serious. I mean, this is serious, almost. So, I mean, this is reality, right? The reality is that we're all going to die, and that when I do die, I want something left behind of me for not just others to experience, but for my wife and daughter and family to still be able to get to know me, right? Still be able to have me around, which means that ultimately these are going to have to be downloaded onto my hard drive and then turned into discs, thumb drives, and that kind of stuff for posterity's sake, because all of this eventually will just wind up in a family photo video album, right? This is all just fodder for her hope chest, basically. It's where it's all going to wind up anyway. And then at some point, she'll be able to dig through it and go, oh, I remember this and I remember that, and wow, what a kook he was, you know. And if she does so desire, she can use all of this to, you know, to create something like I'm using all of my father's past imagination to create all of my new stuff. I got a sneeze coming on. Oh, yeah. All right, people, that was a sneeze. I didn't want to have, 2 points. I didn't want to have to subject you to the sniffing and the blowing and the wiping and all that, so there you go. But now that I've described it, there you go. So yeah, it is Friday, 5:41 in the 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is May 24th, 2024, my daughter is officially a college graduate. She is a degree holder, and I am so proud of her. While my father chased a bachelor's degree for several years, he never managed to get there because he had to take care of his family and get chased around the country by an ungrateful government. And so therefore he never had a chance to complete all of the classes required to get his bachelor's degree. So he did get a college degree from Pasadena City College, and I believe he achieved that in 1974, even after being chased around after Wounded Knee. But then that was it for our side of the family, our branch of this family tree. He was kind of the first on this branch, and then also the last to get a college degree. My siblings nor myself have achieved a college degree, but like I said, I have taken on enough units to probably graduate at least 1.5 times with an Associate of Arts degree. I'm sure if I were to go back, I could. In fact, I told my wife, you know what, if I had enrolled at the same time that she enrolled out here at the campus and just took 1 or 2 classes a semester, I could have been graduating right alongside of her, you know. And while that was, the idea was really neat, that was never going to happen because, like I said, my intention in going to college was never to graduate. I don't look at things like that the way most of the world does. I look at education as education for the sake of education, not to flash something in somebody's face. Because if that's what you're going for, you're not going to get out of it what you're putting into it. So I do stuff for me, and I try to teach my daughter to do stuff for herself, not for some requirement somewhere. But, that would have been novel, graduating right alongside my daughter. I could go back and within a year probably achieve a Associate of Arts degree. But I don't have the time nor the inclination to spend on, for me it's trivial, because at my age, what am I going to do with a degree, right? Other than hold it up and go, look, I'm old and I achieved my degree. Now bury me. I would rather be doing stuff like this. I would rather be creating videos. I would rather be writing, drawing pictures, doing something from within, bringing it out and sharing it with the world, and then leaving it after I'm gone. What am I going to do? Leave my degree? Now, at this point, my daughter can take that and use it the rest of her life. So by the time she gets to my age, right, she will have already compiled a huge mass of accomplishments because she got it early, right? At this point in my life, I don't feel like I need higher education, but speaking of higher, I think I'm gonna pack a bowl. How's that for a segue, huh? So speaking of segues, how about last night? If anybody was around last night, I did have a show last night while I wasn't here. I was at graduation, and it seemed to stop after about 3 hours or so. It was something new. It was a novel idea that I'm going to start recording programs to air when I can't be here, okay? Because I won't always be able to be here in the mornings or in the evenings. Sometimes I won't be here both time slots, like on a concert day. On a concert day, more than likely I won't be doing a morning show because I'll be sleeping in until it's time to get up and go to the concert, and then I won't be doing an evening show because I will be out at a concert somewhere, right? Or a family event. David wants to go shoot some video for a music video, and the place that he's chosen is an old gravel yard large cement yard place that's just riddled with bullet holes, and the stucco is spray painted and chipped, and it just has some great light and shadows and no ceiling, so you got light coming in through, and it's just a great, you know, and all I've seen are a few photographs. So it's like, okay, yes, I can do something at dawn, right? Getting up early and being down there before the sun comes up, that's not a problem. Yes, I can put my show on hold. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drive down there during the day, during the afternoon, and take pictures and video and plan things out, and maybe even shoot daytime video, right? So that when we come back in the morning, we can shoot sunrise and some early shadow stuff, and then mix it with the later stuff. Maybe go there in the late afternoon, evening, so we can get some late afternoon sun and some shadows in the other direction, right? And then it'd be neat to have the same shots with shadows going, bouncing, you know, shadow from this side, same shot, shadow from this side, shadow, 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 with the same guy in the middle playing the same stuff. I mean, you know, give me something and I'll figure out how to make it into something that people are going to want to watch and go, yeah. So I'm already brimming with ideas. I don't know if Bush is out there this morning. I heard you guys saw another UFO last night. It's not uncommon out here in this neck of the woods. I haven't seen anything really weird, but I am interested in seeing that video and hopefully get it up here on the show Monday morning, right? So we can share it and talk about it and get you guys over here to discuss what you saw, right? Because hey now, you know, first-hand sighting stuff is really neat. So it'd be great if I could get, you know, someone out here to talk and philosophize about some of this stuff. Philosophizing. Speaking of philosophy, let me segue again back to the death and dying class that I took when I went there to this college up the road here 10 or so years ago, right? And then my daughter last year took the same course with the same instructor, Miss Kathy Itmeyer. Just a beautiful woman who has been teaching out here since, I think they said 90. And she is one of my favorite people on that campus, if not my favorite person on the campus. I used to see her at the basketball games. She would go root for the Fighting Cacti. And the fact that my daughter and I both had her as an instructor was just amazing. It was, if it was going to be one teacher, she's the one. You know, when I found out that my daughter was taking that, I'm like, yeah, are you getting Miss Itmeyer? Are you getting her? She's like, I don't know. And boom, she got her, and my daughter was like, yeah, you're right. She is awesome. She is a fantastic person. I even had my daughter take to class with her some of the stuff from my death book, which is the final project. You put together a book during the course of the class, and then at the end you hand it in, and she judges your book, your death book. And so I set some of the elements from my book in with my daughter to show Miss Itmeyer, and she's like, oh, I remember him, now I get it. And it was neat that I got to see her again last night on her final night. She's retired. She retired from teaching, and I'm doubly pleased that my daughter got to meet her and learn from her while she was still teaching. And on my way out, we passed each other, and I stopped and I said, Kathy, and I looked into her eyes and I said, it was an honor to have you for a teacher. And thank you so much. I could see that in her eyes she had trouble registering who I was, but at the end I think she made the connection between my face and my daughter and the name and all of that. And if not, that's fine, because I have it in my memory. And she was, she's an awesome person. And congratulations on all your decades of success and your newfound freedom, whatever you're going to do with it. Yeah, wow. I finally got to meet Deja's grandmother last night. And so I hope at some point she stops by the channel or on Facebook or something and says hi, so we can get to know each other more. I think that she'd probably be interested in a lot of the things that we do here on the morning show and the evening show, and a lot of the stuff we do here on the channel. While I am almost 56, a lot of the stuff that I do here on the channel is pretty much for all ages. I mark it not for kids, because it's up to the parents to decide whether they want their kids to watch some old weird guy sitting here doing bong hits, because that's about as crazy as it gets around here, is me doing bong hits. And with that, I think I'll do a bong hit. I love the flowers, and no, I'm not stealing them, David. I just wanted to display them here this morning because they're so beautiful. Beautiful flowers from a beautiful family to my beautiful daughter. Thank you so much. Yeah. Wow. I don't know why my show went off last night. I do not know why. I wish I had some way. I probably should have done a report on my stream after I stopped it to find out where it had gone wrong. But I neglected to do that. I have to get my logs and go through the logs to find out what happened. And I should have uploaded the current log and looked at it, or at least copied it, so that I could make some kind of decision, or at the very least upload that log to the OBS chat and have them look at it and tell me if there was something that happened that I could fix, right? But we'll just have to wait and see if it happens again. I hope it doesn't happen tonight. Tonight is the same plan. I'm going to put on the same show and do a rebroadcast of last night's recorded program. And basically this is a test. This is a test to see if I can get away with doing stuff and not be here. I want to be able to do live broadcasting when I'm gone, and not have to do it while I'm out. If I could do it while I'm at home, kind of a robot thing going on, and then just let it happen and then walk away and let it be happening while I'm gone. I mean, that to me would be perfect, and I don't always want to do that, but with concerts, family events, video projects, going out to see live music locally, I'm not always able to do that if I'm going to be here between 5 and 6, right? So I think the best plan is to create a show and then just push play and go, It would be great. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a premiere. Rather than do a live show, I'll do a live premiere, which means it premieres on the day and the hour of my show, so you can start watching it at the time of my show. But it's not live, but it is live premiere. And that might be an option. Create a video for that time slot when I can't be there, right? I see a few people there on Facebook. Not sure if they're bleeding over here onto YouTube. I do try to post a link every morning to my morning show and every evening to my evening show, so that people popping around on Facebook if they happen upon it, then they can jump over and check it out. It's not important for me to get likes and subscribes and people going, hey man, it's awesome. It's more important for me to reach the people from my past and the people from my present, right? And get to them and meet new people. I would rather have new friends on YouTube and Facebook than subscribers, right? Sure, if you want to subscribe, then subscribe and hang out. If you subscribe, then it's going to be easier to do the interactions, right? And I'm just about at 90 subscribers again, which means that when I get to 100, we're going to do some weird live event. It appears that it's going to be a telethon. And David last night, he's like, oh, like the old Jerry Lewis telethons. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get up and do a soft shoe, right? But I will have things set up here so that I can do more during that live event. I'll have it set up so that I can put a bed over here in the corner and stay here with you during the live event. I'm not going to have a camera on me while I'm sleeping. I'm not that weird. I'm not going to pull a Truman show. Similar. When Truman was sleeping, there was this graphic video that would come up of him sleeping, or that would represent him sleeping, right? It'll probably be the lava lamp cam. You know, I mean, I'll probably have this on while I'm sleeping and some music. Put on a couple of long Grateful Dead concerts, and you'll listen to that while I'm sitting here in my bed passing out to some old TV or something, right? But while we're doing this live event, I can watch just a buttload of movies, listen to a bunch of old stuff, listen to music, go through photographs, and do some live drawings. The live drawings are going to be, there's going to be two of them, two hats, right? One hat will contain names of all of my friends and family and people on YouTube and Facebook, right? And then the other drawing will be people who have left a comment during the live event that says drawing, right? And then I draw from both hats, and each name wins a prize. And that's how we do that. The only stipulation is that you have to enter the one. You don't have to enter the other. If you're on my list of friends and family on YouTube and on Facebook, you're automatically in the first one. It's a bigger pool of names, so it's going to be harder to win anything out of that. The other one will be only the names of people on YouTube during the live event that have typed in drawing in the comments, right? And then the last stipulation is that there's no purchase necessary, but I have to achieve 10% of my subscribers in the viewer count before I will hold the drawing. In other words, I got to have 10 people watching, and then I'll draw the names. Okay, 10 people watching, we're going to draw from this hat. Okay, next 10 people we get watching, we're going to draw from this hat, you know, and that'll give more people time to enter their name in the comment. So there's that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and that is in the planning stages, and it's just going to be a lot of me sharing stuff. I'll do my morning show, and then we'll have some after show stuff, and then we'll have some lunch, and we'll watch some movies, we'll do this and that, and then I'll do my evening show for you, and then we'll do the evening show, probably a long show, and then we'll do an after show thing, and then maybe some video chat with family or friends. I mean, it's just going to be live. It's going to be real, reality. I mean, this is the realest reality show out there. So if you want reality, this is where you go. Yeah, there's still so much going on over the next week. The end of this month is not, it's coming quick, but it ain't coming quick enough. We have a graduation party tonight. We've got a vacation rental. Thank you, Ron. So we have a vacation rental for the night. So everybody's going to be going over there. My wife and daughter and Charlie are going to go over there and do food and get food ready for a couple of hours. And then everybody will show up in the evening around 5 or 6, and we'll all hang out for a couple of hours and have dinner and party and play some music. And then all the adults will run off and leave the youngins to hang out and, streak or beer bong or whatever kids do. And then I jest because these kids aren't like that. We were back when we were young. We were animals. These kids are nothing like the crazy kids we were. And that baffles me. I mean, it does. I mean, I was all prepared for something else when becoming a father, and I was unprepared for how easy my daughter has made being a father, right? And her mother has made it real easy to be a father. So thank you, girls, for making it easy on this crazy old weird bearded guy, because I don't deal with stress and emotion well. Oh, these beautiful flowers. Beautiful flowers. Mom got a big, giant, double bouquet of flowers. And right at the end of the ceremony, as everybody was marching out, I was able to run down real quick and hand them to my daughter. So that was cute. Boy, I'm just walking on sunshine here. Yeah, I can't believe how easy she made it look, really. I mean, she'd stay up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning and then do her homework, right? And knock it out in like an hour. It's like, oh yeah, I got a paper to write. And then bing, bang, and she went into this college thinking, God, I'm a horrible writer. I hate writing. I suck at writing, and I kept telling her, just write what you feel. Don't write to make words line up correctly and to know where your periods and stuff are. I said, don't write like that. Write from your heart. If they want you to write about something, write your feelings about that something, okay? Write within that something. Don't, all you're doing is in your head, you're just copying and pasting, right? You put it into your head and then you paste it down, right? And it's like, no, that's not what they want. They want to hear about reality. They want to hear about what's going on in your head, especially if you're taking psychology. You need to write like you're sharing your emotions, right? And so I kept expressing to her, look, just write. Don't think about what you're writing. Just auto-write. Just, absorb your stuff in, and then let it go, right? And so she's like, oh. And she did it. She kept writing these papers and these essays, and they started to become easier, while at the same time she wasn't convinced that she was writing well, right? And then this last semester, she comes home and she says, I pick her up at school and she says, you know what? That paper that I wrote, my instructor, my professor loved it. He just loved it. He thought it was one of the best things that he'd read in a long, long time. And to boot, he passed my paper out to everyone in the class. We're each supposed to get 2 papers from other people in the class, and then we're going to, review them and go through them and stuff, and then we each get to dissect everybody else's stuff. And he said he did that. She said he did that. He gave everybody 2, but then he also gave them my paper and said, this is the paper, right? And she was blown away. And then he discussed it with other professors who said, yeah, that's right, Natalie, yeah, she can write, And it was such a confidence booster to her that I think she's going to go into university that much stronger. And I'm so glad she she took the right move by going to college first. She got accepted to a couple of universities right out of high school, right? And she could have gone right into university. And she was like, she was like really timid and unsure of her abilities, right? And I'm like, do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to force you, into go to college. Go to college for a couple of years right here. Get your chops. Get your wings working right. You don't have to rush out. You don't have to go live in a dorm. You don't have to commute that much right out of high school. I mean, come on. Worry about you. Don't worry about what others want from you. And so she did. She went here and she nailed it. And it was the best thing she could have done for herself. Get that experience, And so, yeah, her and her friend are off to university, same university. Hopefully they get days together where they can commute together. I'm all on board for being a commute driver. If that's the case, if she doesn't want to handle that hour drive down and hour drive back, I'll drive down there and hang out on campus and go live from the campus, just sit under a tree with my friggin' guitar, sit in the library and research stuff. I'll have access to all of this stuff because my daughter, she's going to school here, man. They're going to get to know me on that campus. They're going to get to know me. Here's that crazy old weird bearded guy again, and I think that's cool. I was a fixture on my father's campus in Pasadena. He would take me regularly to campus with him at Pasadena City College. I went several times a month with him to UCSD during his 4 years there, and got to know that campus as well as any student. And I was only in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, right? Yeah. So, and then I was a fixture on this campus out here, Copper Mountain, before my daughter got there. She got there, and her, it's like I had already been there for 3 years. Never graduated, but I did some hell rehabilitation. So now she's off to university, and I'll probably become a regular fixture there because she has yet to get her driver's license. Hopefully she's going to get it this summer. Even though she's going to get her driver's license this summer, she'll still either be driving with me for a year or more, and possibly be driving with her friend, and sharing the driving so that she can get some driving under her wings, right? So that'll be cool. Good morning, anybody. Just sitting here beaming about my college graduate daughter, and walking on sunshine and feeling like a proud parent, yeah. It's great, fantastic stuff. Little fantastic shit. I'm going to go warm up my coffee real quick, get it all warm. I'll be right back. Here you go, lava lamp cam. Yeah, people. Yeah. it's just hard for me to imagine having a college graduate daughter, never thinking that I'd even have a family, let alone a daughter, a kid. You know, I mean, I always imagined I'd be gone by 35, really. I mean, I had a really weird life. I had things going in all kinds of directions when I was young. I was, I was essentially homeless at 15 when I just walked out, and then kind of floundered around back and forth from home to different various couches and houses and families and stuff around Elsinore Lake. But managed to stay in school. I knew that much. I knew that I had to stay in school. And so I did all I could to stay there. But, things were rough, and I just thought that there's no way, with my poor health and my bad mental stability and depression and stuff, thought there's no way I'm going to make it, there's just no way. I mean, I'm either going to go at my own hands or by somebody else's, or my health is just going to say, So to be here today doing this and talking about, being married for almost 25 years and having a daughter graduating from college, that's just, whose life am I living, right? And whose awesome life did I steal? Because it is awesome. I mean, there are a lot of people in this world with a whole lot more than we have. Of course, there's a whole lot more people in this world who have a whole lot less. So I'm grateful. I don't seek to become a millionaire or have 18 cars that I'm never going to drive, and 3 past wives and 20 kids. I mean, that's not what, my ultimate goal is to leave a legacy of a brilliant person that my wife and I created between the two of us and helped nurture into an awesome human being. And that's my legacy. This YouTube thing here is just to make sure that I'm not forgotten, basically. I mean, like all of us, we don't want to be forgotten. I can't build a pyramid, so I'm building I'm building a channel that is going to represent me after I'm gone. If not the channel, then the videos in some fashion. And my plan is to, if I can deal with it before I'm gone, is to take all of these videos. I have all of the ones that I've created are in my data bank here, right? But the ones that are live, they have to be downloaded into my hard drive and then curated so that they're around, right? But that's it. That's my legacy. And then at some point, when all of these things have been downloaded onto my devices for posterity, then after I'm gone, my final wish would be that everything is then re-uploaded onto the web in whatever fashion social media or videos or stuff are done at that point in the future, right? Because I imagine that this is not going to be around forever. This is not going to be the norm for 100 years, right? YouTube. So there's going to be other incarnations of this type of stuff later to come, right? So my ultimate goal and wish is that all of these things that are created will eventually be saved here in my studio, and then at some point in the future reintroduced to the world as a whole, and possibly as a documentary, and then at some point down the road, I would like to get everything that I have in one file uploaded to the Internet Archive, right? Because in the long run, that's where information goes to be reborn, right? All information eventually has to die. Books, disintegrate. Information degrades, right? So eventually, my story is going to wither and fade. But if I upload all of this stuff into my catalog on the Internet Archive and other such places, then I think that's going to actually give me longevity long after I'm gone. And I hope other people, will kind of take that into consideration, that you don't have to completely fade away. There are things that you can do to save your own personal history for posterity's sake, if nothing else. Right? Right. Totally. So this is Flashback Friday on Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. But right now I'm flashing back to my own life and my own daughter's life, and my father's life, and the similarities, and how the college graduate skipped a generation, skipped right over me. I didn't graduate college. I didn't graduate high school. I mean, I barely got a GED. But it just goes to show you that even though my parents didn't practice what they preached about education, and that it was important, and that made sure that I got a college education, right? I made sure that is the thing that skipped, right? It hit me, but it did not hit my daughter. She knows that it's important, and she knows that it's important because we made sure that we were able to do everything in our power, but mostly everything in her power to go to college, because ultimately she's the one that's going to have to deal with it in the long run. She's the one that's going to have to fill out papers and earn degrees and go to classes, right? So there's a lot of stuff that I cannot do for her. I can help, but I cannot do it. I can't toe the line. All I can do is grab and pull with her, but I can't be responsible for all the work. And she knows that now, and I think she's going off to university that much wiser, stronger in her ability to navigate that academia world, that whole university lifestyle, and the paperwork, and know where to go to get help so that she doesn't have to pay for anything. Make sure that they pay for everything. She pays by giving them a student that is an excelled student, right? She's giving them 4.0 plus for their what do you call it? For their statistics, right? She's making them look really, really good by graduating with honors. So, therefore, they should have no trouble putting out invisible money that they don't really even have to put out. It comes in, and they just say, yeah, give it to that person. It comes in, they say, yeah, give it to that person. So she's earning this stuff, right? But she knows how to go about getting it now. I don't have to say, well, be sure to talk to these people, be sure to talk to those people. Did you call so-and-so? No, she's always, I got an email today, I called so-and-so, checks in the mail. She's rocking it. She's knocking out of the park every single day. And now she's got the whole summer to just worry about her own head. She's got books she wants to read. She's got games she wants to play. She's got movies and miniseries and stuff she's been dying to get to, but she's been too focused on school because that's who she is. And I could not be prouder of my little cacti slash coyote. My little burrito, my little 4.5-pound burrito is got a college degree. Yeah. There you go. So I'm going to sit here for the next, hour and a half and just go, I think today, I am going to be staying awake a little bit later before I take a nap. Yesterday, I had gotten so much sleep the night before, 6 hours, or 5 and 5, I think. I got up 3 times. So I got so much sleep the night before my 5 hours with 3 breaks that when I tried to sleep early the next day and take an early nap because of last night, I couldn't, right? It took me forever to get to sleep, and then I couldn't sleep well. Basically, I'm getting too much sleep now. So I'm going to have to stay awake a little bit longer before I wake up to go live this evening. Because I don't want to get too much sleep. Then I'm drowsy and groggy all the time, and then I got to load up on caffeine just to wake up in the evening, which makes it harder to go to sleep at night, yada, 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 vicious cycle. So I think the best thing that I can do is probably, rather than try to go to sleep within 2 hours of this show, is to go to sleep about 4 or 5 hours after this show, and then just get an hour and a half or 2 hours nap before I got to get up and go prepare for this evening, right? The evening thing. Yeah. I think cutting back on my nap time would be good. I just get so exhausted. Like right now, my eyes are just beating me up. My eyes are saying, what are you doing? Go lay down. But if I went in there and laid down, I would stare at the wall for 2 hours before I would be able to nod off. And then I'd be up, every 10 minutes. Insomnia sucks. That's one of the things that I thought would have led to an early demise, right? I figured getting half as much sleep as the rest of the world, that I'm actually living a double life. So I figured I'd be dead at 35, having lived about 70 years, because I'm awake more. I get less sleep, right? A ridiculous way to look at it. But I just assumed that, that people with poor health and insomnia and all these other issues, they just check out early. I mean, I always heard about, well, he died at 40. Yeah, my old man, he died at 52. So I always just thought, I'm going to probably check out way before that. I started having severe health problems in the mid to late 90s, right? And because of my lousy insurance, I could never get any doctors to commit to saying that there was anything wrong with me one way or the other, right? And they do tests and they go, oh, well, you got a little of this, but we don't need to look into that because basically your insurance ain't going to cover it, and you're going to have to cover some of it, and and then they go, oh, and it's really invasive to look at these things, do these things, and it's going to hurt. We're going to jab you with needles. So they make it seem like it's something you don't want to do. So they scare you away from doing it, mainly because they know that your crappy Medi-Cal insurance or something isn't going to cover it. So why bother finding out that you got something horrible when your insurance isn't going to take care of the other end of it? Well, he's got something horrible, just let him fade away. So I always assumed that all of these things that were wrong with me were going to stay wrong with me because I just didn't have the means to get them taken care of responsibly, right? and going to irresponsible doctors, you know. And nowadays, it's like it seems like most of these doctors and nurses and stuff have just Googled their way, you know, through medical school, you know. And if you can't, like the old days, store all of that knowledge up here, so you have enough information compiled to cogitate a reasonable diagnosis and solution to a problem, then how can you do that by scrolling through and going, well, is it this? Well, let's try this prescription. Is it this? I don't know. Let's give them this prescription too. But those two prescriptions conflict. Well, crap. Well, let's give them this other stuff, but then we'll have to change this to this, and then we got to give them this extra medication to fight off the side effects of this medication. It's like, motherfucker, please. Where's Doc Baker? You know, where's Doc Baker and his fucking hometown fucking remedies? You know, and his in his fucking brain knowledge, right? That's what I want. I want a doctor who's got it up here, you know, and not at his fingertips. Well, I've got it all at my fingertips. Well, yeah, what the fuck's in your head? You know, your tea time? Fuck. All right, I better smoke this or I'm going to keep going on a rant. I think it's the pain is really starting to... Oh, that seating last night at the event. Had I been able to stretch out and lean back, it would have been great, but we were packed in like friggin' sardines. I had to put my legs into the aisle because they would not fit between me and the person in front of me. No fucking way. I had barely enough room to be between the person behind me and the person in front of me, sitting sideways. You know, I still kept bumping the guy in front of me and bumping the girl behind me. This is horrible. I mean, it's like these bleachers were made for kids, and it's a college. I didn't notice how uncomfortable and how close everything was when we were going to the basketball games, right? Or the volleyball games. But, man, when they're packed in like that, you feel it. You totally feel it. It was a fantastic event, though. I mean, all of the graduates just looked old. There was a lot of old people there. I mean, half the students you could tell were graduating from here right out of high school. It's like they're only 2 years out of high school, most of these people. But the other half, I mean, literally, like half of them were like anywhere from in their late 20s and 30s into their 50s and 60s. We had a guy in there with a bald head and a big gray beard. I mean, a gray beard, and he had crow's feet, and you could tell, you know, that I don't remember what he was graduating with. But there were a few other people that were just, it's like, wow. You know, you could see some moms in there going, hey, look what I did. You know, it was like, wow, man, good for you. I remember one where there was a daughter or granddaughter, little itty bitty tiny little girl comes running up with a bouquet of flowers, looking around, and gave it to this lady who looked like her mom or grandma or something, but it was really sweet. I was like, hey, get that kid, I'll pay her $1 to give these to my daughter. It was a great thing. A lot of really happy people, family, friends, graduates. Yeah. Really cool stuff. Beaming, hello. Totally beaming, you know. My God, it's 6:30. Yeah, I mean, I did have a bunch of stuff planned for this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't set anything up before I went to sleep last night, and then remembered it's too late this morning. And I don't want to cause a bunch of whole clutter and madness in here trying to set up something now. So next Friday, we will get into more Elsinore history and more of my own story. I had planned to show yearbooks, and starting with a yearbook from junior high. But we can do that. We can do that anon. We can do that next week. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll dig up some school photos of me and possibly my siblings, my mother and father, my daughter. Maybe even try to dig up a photo of my wife when she was a little girl. And try to do something like that on a flashback or a throwback day. I'm going to be spending a little time this weekend, hopefully creating some more videos, but most definitely creating new graphics and a new weekly preview and a longer weekly programming, because I want to introduce weekly programming for Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia and a Sunday edition. So I will be introducing those graphics and those previews into the weekly programming. And I want to add to some of the opening and closing segments. There's some things that I need to add, some people that I need to pay respect to. So there's that. I don't know that I will be coming to you Sunday with a Sunday edition, because I don't believe I have enough created yet. In fact, I have nothing created, nothing new. It's pretty easy for me to put together an edition of photos from my wife's phone. It is pretty easy for me to put together concert footage videos. It is not, however, easy for me to put together episodes like out buying music and stuff, out buying records and stuff. It's not easy to put together an episode of Let's Go to the Movies or something from the docu-series. That takes time. So I will probably put together, since I haven't done it in a while, I will probably put together a whole bunch of music videos, concert footage videos, past and present, live open mic stuff, local music, stuff from David, stuff from Bush, stuff from a lot of the local artists that I've gathered in video. So I'll be trying to put together a bunch of that stuff, as well as putting together new graphics and video elements for shows. We do have work this weekend. My work mainly consists of Friday through Monday. Nothing happening today, thankfully, because we have our graduation party this evening. But tomorrow we've got a couple of houses to clean. Sunday we've got a couple of houses to clean. Monday we've got a few houses to clean. So I'm going to be squeezing in as much video editing and creating time as possible into this. So I might be saving up stuff for a Sunday edition the following week. And it may be like that. It may be every 2 weeks. A Sunday edition may happen every 2 weeks until I can get into the rhythm of creating a video a day in between shows, so that I've got a really big pool of videos to pull from every Sunday. And then I can start bringing you a regular Sunday edition. But my plan is to get into the habit of creating a video a day. The short videos during the week, create some kind of video a day, 4 minutes, something. And then over the weekend, work on larger video projects, the docu-series, out buying records and stuff, Let's Go to the Movies, bigger things, a family photo album. One of the family photo album ideas is to do a yearbook series in that. So that's in the works. I know I am so groggy. It was that damn pitcher of beer that I split with David. That was it. I got home last night and I was really cranky, and I started to get a headache, and so I just grabbed a bottle of water and went and laid down. Now, I should have had an aspirin and drank the entire bottle of water, and that would have helped me to wake up feeling better. But I neglected to do that. So, well, there's a lot of people on Facebook this morning. I don't see any of them here with me on YouTube, but that's all right. That's all right. Remember, this morning show is for me and those who choose to come and hang out with me, and that's pretty much it. But it's basically for me and my family. Uh-oh, belly button. Don't show your belly button. Don't do it. You'll make Walt Disney mad. Yeah, it's that beer. I don't drink beer. I'm not a regular beer drinker. I felt celebratory last night, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna have a beer. And David's like, I'm like, yeah, I'll have a Sapporo too. And he ordered. He's like, oh, I'll get a pitcher, 2 glasses. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have what he's having. He said, dude, I just ordered a pitcher. I'm like, oh, right, okay. I'm not used to going out, right? I'm just not used to going out. Yeah, I'm not used to going out and putting together, a bunch of tables and hanging out with a bunch of people, young and old. I mean, it was really neat. I don't get to do that kind of stuff. And I hope that with the time I got left, I get to do it more, right? So that's pretty cool. That was really neat. I mean, we don't get to go out and do that and spend hundreds of dollars on a check and and feel like, wow, this was awesome. This was worth every penny. And they were great people. The food there is fantastic. I've only found a few places in the last 30 years that I can call good sushi, good Japanese cuisine. This is one of those places. This is a place that came out to the valley as a little tiny family place, hole in the wall, and they eventually built up a clientele and a business to where they have their own big building at the end of one of those large strip mall things, but they've got their own big giant restaurant, and it's a restaurant, but the atmosphere, the people there, it's really, really nice. When it's just us three, we usually will go back into this little tiny cubby hole tucked behind some glass, and it's just really quaint and quiet with a little lamp. And the last few times we've been out in the middle of the room, and it's just been freaking awesome. It's just been really cool. Even so much so that I bought a shirt. I bought an Aki Sushi shirt that I'll wear Monday. The cute kitty cat on the front. Really nice, cool graphic. But it was like, you know what? My kind of people, my kind of restaurant, my kind of food, everything is my kind of. So those are the kind of local business shirts that I like to wear, are the ones that I would definitely frequent and do frequent, because they have good people and good food and good atmosphere, or it's run by really nice people, and they're locals. There are some more local businesses that I really need to go and hit up and get shirts from, for more than one reason, for more than me. I've just been so busy lately. I haven't had a chance to even, freaking do anything. seems to never slow down. You know, it looks like I'm going to be busy tonight again, and we'll have to leave the show running itself. And hopefully it will. Hopefully it will take care of itself this time. We're busy all weekend with work and working on this stuff at the same time. Next week, I'm right back to the grind. 3 hours a morning, 1 hour a night at the least. I think I'm going to be switching to a longer, different style broadcast on Friday evenings. I think I'm going to do nighttime and nostalgia, but then I think I'm going to go right into another program and do Friday Night Live. Right? I think I'll keep the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia at 5 and bring Friday Night Live in at 6, because I don't want to disturb my programming. You know, I like continuity. I like routine. I like the things to be the same. You know, I like my burger the same every time. So I'm going to keep mornings the way they are, 3 hours a morning, 5 days a week. I'm going to keep nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, the 3 N's, right? I'm going to keep that 1 hour a night, 5 nights a week. Hopefully I'm going to be able to add a Friday Night Live for in-studio interviews and music, and add a Monday Night Live for occasional open mic night, because I do want to go out and follow Bush at open mic night again, but I need to make sure that I'm able to do it without fail. And I wasn't able to do it out there. Even with my phone, it didn't come off real great. So I think that once I earn my chops doing it here on a regular schedule, two times a day, 5 days a week, plus, then I think I'll be able to go out into the field and knock out a live broadcast with flying colors, you know, because I really need to get it honed down to perfection before I try to take this on the road again. Because I was just bringing down the quality of my channel, and my subscriptions reflected that. My subscriptions were going down. Instead of going increasingly up every day or two, I would get a subscriber or two, right? They were going down, and I've bounced back, and I'm increasing now. And that is really important for the longevity of my channel. It's not so much important for my own ego or my own self-gratification, or even for the YouTube stuff, because I'm not in this to get monetized or to have ads or make money or do that. If I want to advertise something, I'll figure out a way to do it here on YouTube without having to advertise, right? Because I'm not in this for money. I didn't start this as a business. I'm not in this for a business. Even though I made business cards, I call them my hobby cards, right? Because it's a hobby, you know, and I can, here's my hobby card, right? It's got my morning show logo on one side, and then my hobby card information on the other side, right? And that's it. So that when I go to these events or go to see somebody or meet somebody, you know, and we get on, which usually doesn't take long for me to get around to the subject of, dude, check out my stuff on YouTube, right? I could just hand them this and say, here's how you find me. Here's how you find my stuff on YouTube, you know. And it's mainly for that. If at some point somebody wants to get together and ask me to get to do something with them and collaborate on something, that's great. If they want to compensate me in some way, that's great too. But I'm not going out thinking, well, I've got to charge them this and I got to charge them that, and I put in 18 hours doing this, and I got material and labor and part. It's like, what the fuck is this? You know, that if I did that, I wouldn't want to be doing this, right? I would pack all of this shit up and sell it to somebody, and make my money that way, because it's no fun. running all of this stuff like a business. I'm running it like a professional company, but not a money-making business, not a financial endeavor, right? I am not an entrepreneur in any fashion of the sense. By any means am I an entrepreneur. I'm just doing this for fun. Kid videos back from the 80s, you know, an analog man trying to navigate the digital world, you know, reverse Van Winkle. I fell asleep and woke up 40 years ago. That's it. That's all this is. If you read any more into this than that, then you're one of those people that's going to leave a comment that says pro-Mosm, promo SM, right, or whatever, you know, and I can do without that too. Now this is for fun. This is for fun. This is for posterity. This is for my own enjoyment, you know, and that's it. And if I happen to do something that resembles actual programming, it's because I plan it that way, because I want this to, you know, David, we were talking the other day, and I happened to mention, well, you know, I've got all this shit going on, and I got the show in the morning and the show at night, and I'll put together videos, and I got a Sunday thing, and yada yada. He's like, you're a one fucking man media empire, you know. And I was like, yeah, kind of, right? I mean, yeah, it is my little media empire. You know, I got over 200 videos now. I've got to go through those 223 some odd videos and pull out a bunch of those little 1-2 minute crappy sound checks that failed, right? So I need to go through and cull out the crappy videos again. I need to start compiling better playlists of videos that are just thrown in as videos, like all of my father's videos, the reel-to-reel recording stuff. I need to put all of that into a playlist so it's not scattered. I need to create more original content. This live stuff, while it is original content, and it is real, and it is recorded and uploaded as videos live, right, and then held in my playlists permanently, it's not really content, right? It's just, it's a recorded blog, basically. The stuff I do in the evenings is entertainment. And those short videos, those 1 hour videos that I create with my live broadcast, those can be viewed and listened to and enjoyed over and over again. Whereas something like this, it's like you're going to watch this, maybe, or maybe not, maybe a piece of it and go, and then that's about it. You know, somebody eventually is going to come along and watch all of these, I would hope, and gain something from them, you know. I don't want to be like that guy. If that's what you gain, then go for it. You know, but mainly it's for posterity. You know, that's all. You know, I'm leaving something behind of me when I'm gone, and the more video time that I put here live, the more content that I create, the more of myself that I upload into YouTube, the more of me that's saved. Right? I jokingly say that by the time I get done uploading all of my self onto YouTube, somebody will be able to make an AI from all of this. Just upload all of me onto a computer and create an AI. So now I'm around. Hey, look at that crazy dude, man. Right? Cool. Bitchin'. Keep me around forever. You know? I kind of wanted to, a few years ago, I thought, you know what? How am I going to be able to kind of be around for my daughter if I'm gone, right? And I thought, well, why not make a bunch of videos and photographs and load them into one of those picture frames, one of those digital picture frames, and bequeath that to her so that she can turn it on and I'll be there going, hi, honey, how are you? You know? And as it scrolls through, she can push on a video and a random video will pop up saying, hi, honey, how was your day? I love you, you know? And just put in all of these messages, right? And I may actually still do something like that. But then that eventually led to this live blog that, you know what, I can actually leave more than just a few little happy, fluffy, warm, fuzzy comments, right? I can actually leave, big I love you hugs, from the past. Hi, baby. So I thought, you know what, that's probably a better use of all of this technology that I'm trying to use and navigate. All right, I'm getting all whooshy again. I better take a breather. All right, Lava Lamp Cam. The sound of a bong. It's not made for kids, this show, but it's not exactly not for kids, right? I mean, you just have to make your own judgment. I would want a niece or nephew or a great granddaughter or grandkid or somebody to watch this. Why don't you go in your room and watch some of grandpa or some of uncle for a while, And they're going to be okay with the fact that I smoke pot and drink coffee and occasionally use foul language, right? And vent. You should have heard what Uncle said today. Fantastic. In that regards, I hope you do let your kids watch this. I hope you do, and I hope, everybody watches this and learns something not just about me, but about themselves. Learn that I like incense. I'm going to step back here and light some incense. Yeah, this is my little area. This is my studio. This is my room. This is where I do stuff. This is where I hang out. It's where I eat. Sometimes I sleep. I have no wedgie. I take my entertainment leave here. Look at that old guy. I'm watching myself in the YouTube feed there, because my YouTube feed is on the TV here in front of me, and it's live from YouTube, so it's delayed about 20 seconds. And I was just watching my droopy pants, because I'm old and I got no ass anymore. And that's what happens when you get old. If you spend a lot of time in a lot of jobs and throughout your life sitting on your ass, you lose your ass. Get out there and move your ass. Don't lose it. Move it or lose it. There's that expression, right? That's one for the ages. Yeah. So I'm probably going to spend most of the next hour here with you. You're killing a lot of pain, because man, I am feeling it from last night. I love going out and doing stuff, but because of the pain, it just becomes a bummer the next day. I mean, it's from my tailbone all the way up into the top of my spine, right into my neck, and then it's moving off in two different directions, up behind my ears, and the pain is starting to come up around the top of my head here, right? And while a lot of it comes from, my pain, just, I have no choice, it's there, it's always going to be there. And last night, sitting in those awkward positions, in those horribly uncomfortable chairs, much of it comes from sleeping. I can only sleep in certain positions on my side. Sometimes I can fall asleep sitting up, sitting straight up, but I can't lay down on my back. I can't lay down sleeping on my back. I feel uncomfortable. I can't breathe right. I feel vulnerable, right? I don't know why that is, but mainly I sleep on my side. I sleep on one side, and then I roll over and sleep on the other side. If I fall asleep sitting up, I will wake up after a couple of hours, and will feel unrested. Once I lay down flat and get on my side and cuddle up with a pillow or a dog, then I start to get real sleep. I start to actually get some comfortable rest. Yeah. But the pain today is pretty horrible. In fact, my eyes are so heavy still, I might actually just get done here and forego breakfast and just jump right back into bed for a couple of hours. Which would be great, because then I could just spend a couple of hours before the show this evening and the party working on some videos, and working, or at the very least working on content, graphics, and weekly programming, and openings and closings and that kind of stuff. Because it's not only fun for me, but it gives my channel an air of professionalism, professional broadcasting. At some point, my professional journalistic skills will come into play, and I will do a news broadcast, and it may be an addition to a Sunday edition, right? An addition to a Sunday edition. And then just do, okay, here's what's happening in the news or here's what happened in the news this week. And then I'll do 5 minutes of my take on the news. So that way, for posterity's sake, in these programs, we have some historical reference, right, to what was going on in the world, to balance what's going on in my life, right? So that, again, I think is going to give my channel an air of professionalism, to not give you a paparazzi style TMZ version of the news, but rather just, here's the facts, here's what happened this week, Lech Walesa resigned from the Polish, so whatever the news was, that week, I think that's what's going to be important, is to just say, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, let's get on with the show. And not dwell on, not comment on, not give commentary on what's happening. Just say what's happening and then move on. And only for historical reference in the overall picture in the long run, right? So there's that. I'm really bummed that I couldn't have any of my family. My wife, none of her family could come up. They've been going to Mexico a lot to visit Mom. So that's, that's great that they can do that. So if they can do that, they need to do that. I'm sure everybody wanted to be there. So that's the thing about when families kind of get old and spread out and separate and move long distances. That's just what happens, right? And I'm totally understanding of the realities of these things and of people's lives and responsibilities and that stuff. All I can say is, I'm kind of bummed, but that's about it. I'm not going to dwell on it or go crazy. I will say, however, that in 2 years, we need to think about seriously getting together. University, that's gonna mean that we need some family representation to show up for my daughter at that point. High school, bummer. College, kind of a bigger bummer. But university, come on. We're gonna have to have people showing up this time. That's all there is to it. Especially if I'm not around. If I'm not around, I definitely want my family to show up and get their asses here and make their presence known, and like that. So there you go. And because you never know what's going to happen. So that's my motto: be prepared. say I love you now, because you might not have a chance tomorrow. And that being said, I love you. I love all of you. And for those of you joining me this morning, thanks for joining me this morning. Today's show is, once again, all about me, but more about the now, and as it pertains to the past, but most about the now and my daughter and her achievements and her accomplishments and her goals for the future. Pretty basic. Get her bachelor's, and then from there, who knows? I mean, I don't think it's necessary to map out every step of your life when you're a kid. I mean, there are kids who are like in junior high right now who are so focused on college and where they're going to go to the university. What? I mean, my daughter, during her 12 years of normal school, right, that was her main concern, but it wasn't her life, right? She had friends, and she had likes and dislikes and dreams and aspirations and stuff, things that she wanted to do and things that she did, but I never ever once said, you got to do this for your future. You got to worry about your future. What are you going to do when you grow up? What kind of career are you going to have? Fuck that. You know, how much money do you want to make? Do you want to be poor? Do you want to marry some bum? You know, you need to look for a husband that's got money. You know, no, these are not the things that my daughter learned. She learned self-worth. She learned kindness, courtesy, caring, understanding, and I think it reflects in everything that she do, and in the academic career that she's chosen. There goes a big fly. I hate it when they do that. And everything that she's done, she's shown all of these things that we have instilled upon her without doing it intentionally, or without it seeming intentional, right? And I was talking to Mom as we were walking from the Bell Center, where the graduation was, all the way across campus up to the library where we were told to park. Everybody else is parked right there and is in this long procession to get out around the campus. We walked up to the car. It took us 5 minutes, 8 minutes. But we got there, got into the car, and just drove straight out of there because we didn't have to wait in line. But on our way up to the car, I was talking to the missus about our daughter's achievements and how, she has become the beautiful woman that she's become. And I told her that I think the best thing that we ever did for her was not push her, was not give her a bunch of rules and regulations, was to let her have the freedom to figure things out in her own head, was to give her the guidance, but not put up walls and barriers, and not force her into a box or force her to worry about things that really are ultimately out of her control until she gets there, right? And I think because she didn't have to worry about constantly trying to impress us, which most kids do, and then they get frustrated, and then they act out, and they rebel, and they run away and do all kinds of shit, right? Or just get into trouble, or just become horrible little people, right? And we never forced her into any one thing. I mean, it was always her choice. We were just there to be good parents and guide her and care for her and help her in her journey into adulthood, right? And I think she's just done a remarkable job, and I told her, Mom, this is the best thing that we could have done, is just to just to sit back and let her be in charge of her life, and us to just be there for her. My parents always just kind of wanted to be friends more than parents, so they were great friends. Well, they were okay friends, but they were mostly lousy parents because they just they wanted to be, buddy, and so therefore there was this break at some point where they just fell out of that parental role and wanted to just be, hey, can you get me a bag of weed? Hey, Mike, and I felt like I was just, a friend rather than a son, and I don't want that for my daughter. I wanted her to know she's got parents that are there, and they're parents and friends, but parents first, and not overbearing. We were never overbearing. We were never helicopter parents. We were never, we'd send her off to school and then have confidence that she was able to take care of herself, and that we had instilled in her enough, goodness that she was able to take the badness and not let it make her bad. And I think, in her choice of friends and in her demeanor, her character, her nature, it shows it all. She's just a wonderful person to be around. Beautiful sense of humor, wonderful smile, uplifting attitude, that's my girl. Yep. Beaming. All right, I think I deserve another one of these things. And the next sounds you hear will be the sounds of yo. Oh yeah. Well, Big face Bessie the dog, laying on the floor. By the count on YouTube, I can see that somebody else has been here this morning for a long time, hanging out. I have my suspicions, but I'm gonna let the flies on the wall remain until they wish to check in and say, "What's up? What's going on?" But I've had most of my alarms and notifications and ring volumes and stuff turned down. Most of the time because, last night, of course, because of graduation. But most of the time because of my show here, I keep this thing turned down because I don't want it blasting some chime at me every couple of minutes. So I don't often know what's going on. I would hope that I get some more family and friends and local people watching, so that I can create more of a sense of community with all of this thing here. Because, with the whole channel itself, that's my goal, is to create kind of a community of weirdos, like-minded individuals, people in a group setting who like to do similar things, or at least like similar things. I think the big-faced dog wants to go out, so I'm going to go check that right back. Labba-lab camp. Big face, you want to go out? You want to go outside? Yeah, well, it's a really nice time of the year out here in Joshua Tree, California, where we have our Elsinore Brothers studio located at the present time. If I had my dream, it would be to win the lottery and buy, let's just say it, buy the Naval Academy. I would purchase the Naval Academy, and I would have it refurbished and turned into Elsinore Brothers studio, audio-video studio, and museum, period. I would develop the piece of property much like Universal Studios / Knott's Berry Farm. I would probably purchase the property around the Naval Academy. I would purchase the property across the highway, across Grand Avenue, and in both directions, and try to buy up as big a piece of property as possible there, and then create kind of a nod to the past with the studio and the property, and have it house several new buildings as well. It would have housing for students. We would have a campus for several courses. It wouldn't be like an accredited place. It would just be a place where you could come and learn audio video techniques, come and learn music, come and learn how to create stuff. The housing would be the people who work and study there, right? So I would definitely try to go back to Elsinore and use have this actual studio in Elsinore, and turn it into much more than it is. And I am going to see if I can look back here, since we're talking about Elsinore now. External hard drive, HAL 9000, SAL 9000, pictures. Let's open this up, and we will go. Yeah, that's not the right one. Yes, that's not the one. Yeah, mate, it's not it. Good to go here. We got to go back to HAL and see if that is the ticket. Ooh, that's the one. That is, man, I have a lot of photos and stuff. Sheesh. I mean, I have really been hoarding photos and videos forever. Really, forever. I am just trying to see if I can find a picture of the academy. And I am not finding a picture of the academy. Okay? So, how's that going to work? You know what? What I don't think I have on this computer here is Google Earth, right? Do I not have Google Earth? Do I not have some kind of what you call it? Maps. There's a maps program. Can I access satellites? Can I access satellite photos on the maps here? Tilt. Road. Ooh, aerial. Aerial! That does not look like traffics, cameras, street side. Oh well. I don't know why this is not looking like a satellite photo. It should look like a satellite photo, but it doesn't. I guess I'm not allowed to get a satellite picture view. It says aerial, road. That blows. I want to like zoom in to like, 3D cities, traffic. Where's my satellite? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to screw with this later because this is ridiculous. Why can't things just be easy? So, yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to win the lottery and then donate a bunch of money to Elsinore Brothers Studio so we can create this big, epic project, hook up with me. We'll talk about it. I don't want nothing. I ain't selling nothing. I ain't buying nothing, right? But I'd love to to sit and bounce ideas off everyone and, try to do something for our hometown, our community, because it wouldn't take much, it just wouldn't take much. Get $1 million, $1.5 million to buy that building, and maybe take another couple of million and renovate that particular building itself, right? And then take another 10 million and develop the property itself. Within 100 million, you could probably buy up everything around and develop the property, right? Within 5 years, and create an actual studio slash school slash tourist destination, right? Come to the museum, come to a working movie studio. There's a lot of history of movie making in that town. There's a lot of history, period, in that town. I think it would really be neat to have something on that side of the lake to give back to the community, because everything they're doing now is on the hometown, over there in Old Town, over there on the new side, right up against the freeway, easy access, right? But why not? I mean, why the heck not? Why not have that whole corner there at Ortega Oaks Market, Grand, and Highway 74 there, and have that whole big, giant chunk of property around that three-way, and have that turned into a big studio up, and then have it go up into the foothills there, by the Ortega Oaks Market, by that office building there, the gas station, buy it all. Just buy it all and build right up into the mountain there, and then have roads and paths over Grand and over 74, so that you can access all of the stuff without having to cross the highway and wait for lights and shit. Just have overpasses, so you can walk up over or drive a golf cart over or under or something. That'd be really neat, and just develop that whole area there into like the audio video destination outside Hollywood, right? I mean, you've got the Ortega Mountains right there, right? It's easy to go right up into the Ortega Mountains and shoot stuff with no one around. You got the lake for water stuff. You got old, buildings and places, and then old communities all through the valley there, and a lot of old buildings that can be utilized for retro and vintage type stuff, which is what I'd want to do, right? Yeah, I mean, video game developing. There's so many different things that you could do at an AV studio. Have rooms that people could go in to sit and do a live show, just boom, 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 studio after studio, larger studios, auditoriums, amphitheaters, sound stages, have a giant outdoor swimming pool, right? And have an adjacent sound stage, right? And the sound stage itself, the actual building, have it on rails so that it can be moved to be on a ground sound stage on dirt, right? And then have it so that the actual building can be railed over, and then cover the pool, the giant 4 times an Olympic swimming pool, right? And cover that. And now you can do a sound stage in the water and have a deep ass pool, right? I mean, how many people, and then have the lake right there. So if you're shooting on the water, you've got the water level up to where you're looking out over the lake there's so many different things you can do in a studio near the water. An hour from the ocean, an hour from the snow, right? It's just crazy. So yeah, if I won the lottery, I would create Elsinore Brothers Studio back in Elsinore and take advantage of what's there. And the Academy building is there, the Naval Academy. And it is a righteous old building, a lot of rooms, a big piece of property. Somebody bought it, and to me, they're not doing it. They're not nailing it where it should be, and that's what it should be used for. You know, it should be used for historical purposes, and it should give something back to the community. And if it can give work and hope and future and education to the community, then yeah. If it can give a glimpse into the past, fucking A. You know. So, any of those, what do you call those guys out there oh shoot, my brain's not working right. You know what, I'm gonna get some coffee here, lava lamp cam. Get up on your chair. Come on. Come on. There you go. Get up on your chair. There you go. Big face. Big face Bessie. Ah, no wedgie, no wedgie. Ah, you like those flowers, huh? You like those flowers? You like these flowers? Huh? You like these flowers? Yeah. Big face dog likes to smell those flowers. All right. What's one of those big wig rich guys that give money and grants to organizations, right? Big wig guy. Anyway, so that's what I need. I need somebody to come along and say, wow, I like you, kid. You got a lot of spunk. You got a lot of good ideas. Here, take this chunk of money and go do something. Because that's probably what I do. And I say win the lottery because I don't have any aspirations of being a millionaire. It would have to be thrown at me, and then I'd be like, oh, well, I could help a lot of people with this. Be right back. I got dog action again. Come drink some water. There you go. Come sit in here, Sam. I got a chair and a blanket. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. No? You want to go back to bed with Mom? You want to go with Mom? Okay. Why don't you go back to bed with Mom? Come on. You too, Spunky? Come on, Spunkmeyer. Come on, little guy. Alright. Come on. Hi. Little guy. What are you doing? Huh? Boy, everybody's up early today. Gosh, golly, I got... All the dogs are getting rowdy and waking up and wanting to do stuff. Even the missus is up checking her phone already. It's, what is it? Oh, well, it's almost 7:30, so what do you think, Oliver? Huh? How are you this morning? Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I see. You want to come up and say hi? Come here. Come on. Come on. There you are. Say hi, Oliver. Good morning, little guy. The this is little Oliver. He's half Chihuahua and half Great Dane. No, really, I don't know. He's half Chihuahua and half something. Wiener dog, I think, because his brother, who we actually still know, he's short and long, really long. So, and this guy here, he's condensed and tall, skinny legs, big ears, Chihuahua face, but he resembles a miniature Great Dane. He really does, with his face and ears and spots and everything. He's a weird dog. He's also a weird dog. He's also a weird guy. Looks like he's going back in. I can close the door again. Be right back, people. Yep. No wedgie, no wedgie. There we go. So it is just about 7:30 in the a.m. Pacific Standard Time. February. February. Where the hell did they come up with February? I don't know, but it's May. It's May 24th, 2024. Every time I say 2024, 2024, it sounds really, really weird. I mean, I'm a guy who is still enamored with the fact that 1980 is here, right? It's like, wow, 1980. I mean, I'm still going from 79 to 80. You know, for me, that was like, wow, I'm in the future, man. It's no longer the 70s, it's the 80s, right? And that was heavy, and I'm still there. I mean, this whole 2024 shit, it's like, I'm still looking into some kind of science fiction future thing, right? Yeah, it feels weird coming out of my mouth to say 2024, 2010, 2013, yeah, 2025, this coming year, 2025, a quarter of the century, right? A quarter of the century. I mean, I saw more than a quarter of the last century, and I've seen almost a quarter of this century, and that in itself seems really, really strange, because I feel like I'm still back there, right? I feel like I'm trapped back there in the future with the ability to look back as it appears as a past. I mean, it's just, it's a mind bender, man, and I make it that way by overthinking shit, man. I'm overcomplicating my own fucking life by thinking about it too much. But yeah, weird shit, weird, crazy, wacky, wild, zany stuff. No way, man. So this is the last day of the week. The last morning show this week. Next week, mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. We're going to have some more movie fun on Monday. Remember those Mondays when you come in to class first thing in the morning, homeroom, right? And the teacher looks like shit. The teacher looks like somebody just beat him up all night long, right? And they're like, all right, we're going to have a movie, and everybody be quiet during the movie. Timmy, turn the lights off. All right, Rob, you start the projector. And they just, the teacher's out, right? And that happened so many times growing up. So we're going to watch some education films, some student education films from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that kind of stuff. Because in the 80s, we were watching student education films from the 70s. and the 60s and the 50s still, because our library was so filled with old crap, right, that was still somewhat educational, right? Your Body and You from 1956, right? If you touch it, it'll fall off. So we're going to be looking at some great stuff. Stuff like The X-Rated Child, right? Where they talk to kids and parents and teachers and stuff about kids that are just bad kids, right? Bad kids. Or Reading, Writing, and Reefer. That'll be a fun one, right? So we're going to be looking at that kind of stuff. And we'll be looking at it live together here in the studio. I'll broadcast it onto the screen, and I'll be down on Little Box talking about it, making commentary. And then at some point, you can either go to a link in the comments or in a playlist and watch the video in its entirety, or yeah, you can just watch it here on the live show and watch it again in the repeat. But that should be a lot of fun. I've got some great TV stuff picked out. I just need to run it through the algorithms to find out if it's passable through the copyright crap. So that'll be fun. Wednesday's show, we've got Bickerson's, Captain Midnight, Superman, and X-1. So that should be fun. I'm going to put those shows together here this weekend. Yeah, lots of stuff going on. I'm real excited that that David wants to get together and work on a music video. Because I need the practice, and there's nobody I would rather do a video for first than David. Yeah, it's just awesome, awesome stuff. And I can't wait to see, and hear what he's got in mind. I mean, I can only imagine, what I can do with what I know so far, and all I can do is keep throwing out ideas and seeing what sticks, and then keeping a record of what we want, and then creating a large pool of elements, video and audio elements, right? And then basically just laying down the sound and bringing in video that works in the right areas and bring it in correctly in the right media, the right fashion, the right effects, whatever. And now I've got a couple of different programs to use, so it's going to be me getting used to working multiple editing programs and shifting material from one program to another to re-edit and to re-enhance and to re-effect and go back and do effects and stuff here and then take it over to here and work it here, so it's going to be a learning curve. But I think the only way that I'm going to be able to learn how to use all these editing programs is to just sit down and start editing. There are tools that you can get to add to the software, physical hardware tools, dials and buttons and stuff, toggles that you can get to enhance your editing abilities. But I can do most of it with a mouse and a keyboard. So I think we're going to stick to basics, learn the basics. I still need to run my live studio audio video mixer here through the Ethernet into my modem so that I can free up my computer here to do my live streaming activation and deactivation, but also to have my graphics keyed in through the same cable. So that'll help. That'll help enhance the overall quality of the channel. While I'm right now, I'm focusing on two shows right now, the morning show and the evening show. My main goal is to have daily programming all day long, right? So morning time, I take a break, I come back in the evening, I do an evening show, and then I do an after evening show, kind of a late show, and then do live stuff on random evenings. Try to do things on specific evenings. Set up a one show a month deal for a huge party type thing. Set up more than one show for a Sunday, so that I can create stuff, upload it to Premiere at a specific time, so that I've got things popping up all the time, you know, without having to actually be here all the time. And last night's live test of a pre-recorded program proved possible, but for some reason it failed. Pardon me, a little bit of cereal bar stuck in the cheek. So I'm once again, I'm open to suggestions and advice and help and hints and stuff on how to make this work. If anybody knows online broadcasting software, anybody knows Blackmagic Design, Mini Pro, if anybody knows YouTube on online live streaming stuff, I'm open to suggestions. I'm not going to go the route of making money, capitalism, because that would turn me off. But I'm totally open on ideas on how to make this better. I'm an idea man first. I love coming up with ideas, and then the other half of that fun is trying to implement those ideas. After I've created 100 ideas, I'll glob onto one and say, "Oh yeah, this is the one, baby," and then I'm and then that's the one that I work on. And then that's the one that takes me home, makes me feel good. So, yeah. For me, it would be great if I did have my own little media empire on YouTube, you know. And for me, it's going to be more about creating original content, more original content. I need more original, new stuff created by me with original materials, right? That to me is gonna, you know, and I do like to broadcast movies and old radio shows and concerts and stuff, and that's something that's me also, right? So we're gonna have a lot of that. I mean, what other channel doesn't broadcast news and movies and TV shows and sitcoms? And another one of my ultimate goals would be to do a reality show about somebody. Bush, David, VWCW, any of you guys out there, any of you guys that want me to do a reality look, a reality TV show type look at your lives, I'm game for something like that. You know, you would be responsible for most of your video production, right? All of the pre-production stuff we would work on together. The video production stuff would be much like one of those out in the wild stuff where you set up a camera and you do your stuff. Have somebody record you at work, have a spouse record you at home, set up a camera when you're doing this, but ultimately you're responsible for your own video. And then we take that video, work together, create copy, edit the video, put narration in, and create your own reality show. But it has to be real. It can't be faked bullshit. So I'm totally open to doing something like that. And then having it shared between multiple channels. You know, it's like, okay, it airs on my channel first, but it also gets uploaded and airs on your channel at the same time, right? So we share the rights to specific content that gets, you know, multi-channel airing. That'd be very, very cool, right? Yeah, totally. So and then anybody who knows about multi-platform streaming, you know, where do I sign up for that? How do I go live on a couple of different platforms at the same time, right? And then how does that work, right? How do I do that? Somebody tell me how to do that. These are the things that I need to know. Of course, eventually I'll just have to dig into some of these things, you know, and a lot of times I'll just ask my phone, hey, how do I do this? And it'll give me a bunch of different resources to check out. Pardon me. But yeah, mostly my ultimate goal is to have a channel about me that's all me and my life and my family and my friends, and have it contain, you know, pretty much the sum total of my life as it is now, pertaining to the past and the future and the present, you know, right? I mean, what more could you ask for, you know?
For this guy to shut up. Leave him alone, Harry. He's in the middle of self-discovery.
Dude, she's always bagging on him, man. Yeah, and if I was the governor of California, I would be here now telling you later. You know, the more I wake up, the more the others wake up too, and they start rearing their ugly faces and voices. And then pretty soon I'll wind up in the middle of the day with, you know, a six-way conversation going on within and without of my head. Sometimes at work I can just imagine what it sounds like to somebody outside the bathroom that I'm cleaning when they hear, how many people does he have in there with him? Does he always clean the bathroom with 3 people in there with him? Yeah, or more. There's, you know, he does everything with a lot of people with him. It is totally awesome. But if it wasn't for those people in here and out here and in my life, I wouldn't, you know, I don't think I'd have the wherewithal to do this, the drive to do this, the backing, the support, the kindness of others to help in this endeavor, because it's just an experiment, really. I mean, ultimately, this cataloging of my life, past, present, and future, is pretty much just like every show that I do, or every segment that I try out. It's just a test. This is just a test, people. This is only a test. Please stand by. So far this morning show test is working. It's working for me. It's kept me out of depression, kept me happy, kept me busy. So much so that I've decided to put more and more and more of myself into it, and do the nighttime show and try out different venues of exploration with live broadcasting and different styles of video editing. So far I see nothing but pluses. Well, I mean, there are some negatives. Way too much coffee. My sleep is hit and miss and sporadic, while I think I am healing in here from my decades-long bout of insomnia. A lifelong bout, really. I think I'm on the mend, actually, finally, after, you know, spending most of my life in a sling, as it were, kind of halfway between broken and healed, right? Because it seems like throughout most of my life before I got married, I was just constantly taking blows, you know, being doubled over in pain from one hit or another, you know, and life was just kept I was, you know, I mean, I was shadow boxing and the shadow was winning. That's my wife saying, she tagged me in a post. Yeah, we're all beaming. But, you know, it's this last 25 years where 26 years that I've really been trying to be on the mend and have done it somewhat well on my own. I spent quite a few years doing medication to try to help that because that's what the doctors said, but then I realized the doctors were all fucking stupid. So I started to explore other ways of handling. And if I was a dog, I'd be a melancholy. But it's this last couple of years that I've really kind of thrown myself into mending myself, and this has been a huge part of that. I thought that I had to, for a while there, I thought that, you know, helping somebody else out would be the best way to mend myself. You know, help yourself by helping others, and when the others don't want to help themselves, it's like, what the fuck's the point? So I gave up on that and just said, you know what, I'm going to worry about me and myself and my family, and people who actually matter because they matter to themselves. So, you know, that being said, this last couple of years has just been phenomenal, especially the last 6 months since I started doing this live morning stuff. And this is season 3, and it has come a long way. If you take a look back at season 1, episode 1, an empty room and a chair and a cup of coffee and a guy going, that was it, you know. And now we've got, you know, themes and graphics and episodes that, you know, have content, and it's just fun. You know, I can't say any more than it's just so much fun, you know. A one-man fucking media empire indeed. I'm going to take it as far as I can take it, you know, and there's a lot of resources out there, and the more I investigate resources, the more resources I find, and the more resources I find within those sources, and it's overwhelming, because I don't have enough time in the day, you know, and I'm not able to plan my day to day on a strict schedule, because I never know what I'm going to feel like. I never know what I'm going to have to run out and do, you know. So it's just like, okay, I've got this amount of time today to do this, but I'm exhausted, so I better take a nap first and then get on it and do that, you know. And it's like, that's how my days go, you know. Exhaustion, pain, creativity, drive, energy, loss of energy. I mean, it's crazy. It's so crazy, man. It's just totally crazy. But the most that I can say about the last 6 months is fun. You know? The most I can say about the last 20 years is, you know, privileged. You know, I'm very privileged to be husband and father in this family. You know, it is a privilege. It is not a right. I don't own the family. You know, I'm not the boss. I'm not the guy in charge. I'm just a member. You know, I hold a card because I'm a member. My card happens to be a marriage license and a birth certificate of my daughter, but you know, that's it. I'm a member. I'm not the owner and operator of a business. You know, they're not my employees. You know, they're my girls. You know, so yeah, I'm privileged and honored to have been allowed to be a part of the family and to be around this long, right? And I'm bewildered that I've been alive this long. I really am. I'm like, what? How did he make it this long? I mean, look, he's falling up. There's pieces falling off of him. I mean, look, you know, literally. My God, he's like rotting away on the inside. And he's still here. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, totally. Totally. Oh, yeah. I'll hold on to the end. Because when you get to the end, it's the end. What are you going to do? Whenever that comes, that's it. What are you going to do? Go past the end? Yeah, I'm going to live past the end. There's this whole other thing that I'm going to live into. You know, I just got to get past this and then I'm into there. Hey, easy peasy. Yeah. That's me, easy peasy. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He's talking the crazy talk again. He's a kooky guy. Hey, yo, hey. Hey, buddy. Wanna buy a watch? Hey, buddy. You wanna buy a dog? Hey, buddy. You wanna buy a watchdog? Dude, that's my joke. You like my joke? That's my watchdog joke, man. You like it? I made that up just for you guys. Totally. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about the Little Rascals. Mainly because of my theme music, because of the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia music and comedy and the old-time radio and the 20s and 30s era, which is where Hal Roach did a lot of his stuff, Popeye and Betty Boop and the Little Rascals and Laurel and Hardy and that kind of shit, right? So I've really been hankering. He's been a hankering. I've really been hankering for some Little Rascals. So I'm going to have to either dig out my DVDs or pop online here and upload a bunch onto my computers. And then probably search through YouTube. If I can find stuff on YouTube that's from a private, non-monetized channel, then I should be able to just share it right over to my channel and watch it here live with y'all. And I won't, have it as a perfect copy because it'll be up on the screen with me and other shit going on and bouncing in and out and sound and stuff. So it is altered way from the original once it gets done with me. But I will try to find some Little Rascals episodes, and if not, then I'll try to get some excerpts of stuff that we can watch and listen to. Because, I mean, that's where it's at, you know. I just recently watched the Marx Brothers, Horse Feathers, and that was really cool. Last night's show opener was my father's radio show, edited down for copyright content. But it was my father's show that he aired Friday nights at 5. And I'll do another one of those tonight in honor of my daughter's college graduation, because these were aired originally from his college campus in 1974 and 75. So we're kind of going to do he'll be my special guest DJ again tonight. And then we'll do some more of the broadcast that I created for last night. We're going to rebroadcast and see if we can get it to play the full 6 hours for the whole show. And then I'll just be up the street at a vacation rental having a party and getting down, getting funky. So that'll be fun. We're just a few minutes away from the end of the program, so I am going to get ready the weekly programming. And even though the week is over, I sure am proud of this video, and I love to air it for you all. So let's watch weekly programming for this week, and go ahead and watch my cool video, listen to my cool music, because after this particular weekly programming will be changed. It will become longer, and it will involve more of the shows and programs that are on my channel. The night show, the Sunday show, the live stuff. So I'm going to create more for you to check out. And here's this. People, and there is that. So once again today, as every other morning, I will be leaving you with a little taste of what is to come this evening and my nighttime graphic. So let me go ahead and boot those two screens up for you so I can share that material. And I do want to say that, again, this evening will be another rebroadcast of one of my father's shows. So he will be my guest DJ for the first part of the show. And then I will be airing a rebroadcast of last night's recorded program. Okay? And that is basically songs and old-time radio programs, all edited together in one big block for you. Okay? So we're going to see how well that plays for you tonight. I am going to play one of my favorite songs from Gene Austin. And I'm going to play that for you and show the graphic and bid you a fond farewell for the day. So thank you for joining me. This has been Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy.
There she is, that's what keeps me up at night. Oh gee whiz, that's why I can't eat a bite. Those flaming eyes, that flaming youth. Oh mister, oh sister, tell me the truth. Now ain't she sweet, see her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice? Cast an eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Tell me where, have you seen one just like that? I declare, that sure is worth looking at. Oh boy, how sweet those lips must be. Oh, gaze on it, doggone it, answer me. Ain't she sweet, see her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice? Just cast a little old eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Just cast an eye, why, in her direction. Only, oh, my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet?
Hey people, that was Jean Austen, Ain't She Sweet? And I just came back to let you know how much I appreciate you visiting and to play some end credits for you. We did the weekly programming, but we didn't do end credits. So here are those end credits that I promised you. And I want everyone watching to enjoy your weekend and be peaceful and loving and stay weird. All right? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye now.